Hello, it is Tuesday, August 13th, and we have a banger for you. Foxy 91 International. Mm-hmm. Learn the story of us getting lifted in Toronto while enjoying the hell out of Canada. By the way, some wrestling writer wrote an entire blog about me calling Canada Canada. Said that I should not have the ability to broadcast on the WWE network because I can't even pronounce a country's name. The one word that was mispronounced early that he did not get was the word sarcasm, which I pronounced sarcasm. Yes. Which now that he wrote a blog about me saying Canada has a whole new set of irony to it. You fucking idiot. Today's interview is incredible. Just all you need to know is a living legend joined us. He doesn't do a lot of this, and he just broke down the world for us in fantastic fashion. If you don't know about him yet, you're going to love him. And if you know him, I hope we got some information out of him that you haven't heard before. Here's some information that I know you've heard before. The greatest ticket buying app on planet Earth and the moon.
The moon?
The moon.
That's not me.
Is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a ticket buying platform that scans all the other ticket buying platforms to make sure you're getting the best value for the tickets that you buy. This past weekend, Foxy and I used them to get to the Toronto Blue Jays game against the New York Yankees.
Thank you, SeatGeek.
Thank you, SeatGeek. And you'll thank SeatGeek too, because not only are they providing you with the best value, not only are they making sure you can shop with confidence so you don't get catfish whenever you buy a ticket. The ticket you buy is the ticket you get. They're also giving you right now $10 off your first order with promo code PAT and $20 off your first order with promo code McAfee.
Let's go.
A little self-awareness here. If you're rich already, use PAT for $10 off. If you're not rich yet but on your way, use promo code McAfee and get $20 off your first order. They have tickets to everything. It's foosball season. Go watch a game with the family. Go watch a game with your friends. Go alone. Do whatever you need to do. Just get out there and live a little and experience something live with your friends at SeatGeek. Speaking of live, let's get to this conversation.
Hello.
You got him.
I got him.
Sir, you're the absolute best.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, man.
Pat, how are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you so much for doing this. I can't thank you enough.
My pleasure. Other than Bill Simmons, this is now the second podcast I've been on. His was the only one I've ever been on, so that's it.
Holy shit. This is incredible. I can't thank you enough. Ladies and gentlemen.
You're teaching me something here because I've never done an interview on this phone. Let's go.
You're about to teach me a lot, though, so I'm excited for this. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man that birthed the occupation that I'm about to dive into. If you didn't live in and or around the New York City area, you might not have known about his greatness until a 30 for 30 came out, and that's where I was introduced to this legend. The godfather of sports talk radio, the sports pope. From New York City, he'll end up in every Hall of Fame that involves a microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Francesa.
That's very nice, thank you. I even got a cheering squad there. That's nice. Very nice.
I got a whole squad, man. I don't know how you and the Mad Dog used to do 5 hours. We can barely put together 30 minutes, so I respect
We did 5.5 every day, and then I did 5.5 by myself for 10 years, 11 years before I finally decided to not do it anymore. So it was for a long. Basically, what happened was the idea was. To control two time periods is really what it was. It was to control drive time, but also control midday. And Dog and I hit them up for enough money where they had to have two time periods to pay us.
Obviously, you and Mad Dog started the sports talk radio world that we live in now. They tried to do it beforehand. It just wouldn't work until you and your absolutely electric personality got behind a microphone. I'm diving into this world now. I asked Dan Patrick, who is also a notable sports broadcaster and daytime talk show, for advice. He told me always keep the show in mind and basically thank my boys and keep it moving. If you had to give somebody advice that was going to go down the career path that you dominated, what would it be?
Be informed. You want to be entertaining. And you want to try and give your audience something they don't have. Now, it's changed. When we started, Pat, we had more information than the audience did. Now the audience got every bit of information you have. So that's gone, okay? So now it's about different. It's about perspective. It's about opinion. It's about your take. So you got to have a personality, and you have to have a good take on things. That's going to be the guys who are going to break through now are the ones who have a take that is original and is entertaining. That's gonna be what separates the next group of people who are successful at this, because there's so much out there. There's so much clutter. When we started, there wasn't a lot there. We started Sports Talk Radio. And it was failing when Dog and I took over. It was actually they were almost done with it. They were bleeding money. They were losing their shirt. Now remember, if it wasn't for Imus keeping us afloat before with regular show in the morning, the fan never would have made it. So it took a little while for it to get going, but once it did, it really took off. So now you have a format that's saturated. Now you have podcasts where everybody has a podcast. You can't bump into someone who doesn't have a podcast, okay? Every producer has a podcast, okay? If you bump into an intern, I guarantee he's got a podcast. Everybody has a podcast. So that makes it basically a world of clutter. You got to cut through that, okay? Now, you get an advantage if someone knows you like you're well known, but you have to somehow cut through. And I think that's where it comes into having a good take, an original take, a personality that makes you different. Whatever it is that makes you different, whether it's attitude, whether it's perspective, that's really what it comes down to. You have to somehow cut through the clutter.
Okay, so you're obviously a man that I look up to, a lot of people in the world that do this daily talk show thing. Who are some people that you've noticed in the line of business that we're in? Well, I'm not in. I mean, I'm going to get in. That you have.
What do you mean? You're in it big now. They tell me you're doing great. You actually tell me you're one of the few people actually making any money with a podcast, so God bless you.
Francesa. I'm a lucky man.
Because most people who are doing podcasts are working for free.
Oh, a lot, by the way. A lot of people. There's a few of us that get very lucky that we get a chance to pay some folks with the advertising. Who are some people that are younger that you enjoy in the sports talk world? Anybody? Or is it kind of just such a different world now that you kind of think shit of it?
I don't comment on others because it's not fair. So I've heard everybody, and I got to be honest. I don't listen to other people. I got to be very honest. I don't listen to the radio. I listen to the music. I listen to sometimes I listen to financial shows, or I listen to political talk. I don't listen to a lot of sports talk. So I mean, I know the young guys who have come through my show, and there's a million of them who are all working now, who are all in the business. So there's a lot of them. There's some good guys out there. I'm sure there'll be some unique guys out there. There's some characters out there. Simmons is a character, okay? He's not as smart as he thinks he is, but who would be? But listen, it's about, like I said, you have to cut through. You got to figure out a way to make people notice, and then you got to somehow brand what you're doing, because that's the only way you're going to make money now, because there's so much out there. It's hard for people who are executives, and most of them don't have a clue what's good or what's bad anyway. They really don't. They might act like they do, but they don't. It's all guesswork. So they have to see where there's a brand, somebody that they can latch onto, and that's what really you need, because that's what sponsors notice, and that's really what executives who are going to program these things notice. They're going to notice somebody who they've noticed or heard is hot. That's what they'll go by.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've been able to ride the herd and keep the herd hot for a long time and adapt to different things. Now we're in a digital age. The Mike's On app, by the way, legendary, trailblazing. We were thinking about doing the same thing, and we actually got referred to your app on numerous occasions. The ability to adapt to a new platform and a new world. How was that whole process? And do you hate the Back After This Twitter account, who is a Twitter thread, basically, of your best hits, just all day, every day?
There are 3 or 4 full-time apps and full-time accounts on Twitter that follow me. I understand it's part of the business. So I actually can tell you, and you can check this with the guys who work for me, I've never referred to it. I don't follow it. I don't read what's said about me. I don't follow it. First of all, I don't have time. I would not be able to do it. I would do it all day. All I know is I just noticed that for whatever reason, anything I do gets attention. I mean, that's all there is to it. Like last week, I said I wasn't going to Giant Camp, and that was the biggest story in New York. And I was in Saratoga running my horses, and I didn't even know that they were going crazy in New York about this fact that a couple reporters were chasing me down, asking me why I wasn't going to Giant Camp. And I wasn't going because the general manager wouldn't talk to me. So I said, I'm not going if you won't do an interview with me. So I wouldn't go. So that became the biggest story last week. So, I mean, it wasn't anything I did. I just actually said I wasn't going. For the first time in 40 years, I wasn't going to Giant Camp. They asked me why. I said because the general manager wouldn't do an interview with me, and then that became the biggest story last week for the whole week.
What a legend.
I mean, it just, listen, it's just, some people just cause a firestorm. I'm one of those people for whatever reason. I didn't ask people to do it. It just kind of followed me. And the digital thing, it's funny. The digital thing really started when Dog left. And it really was not something that he and I dealt with. It's something I've dealt with. And it just was, that's when Francesa started. That's when all this Pope nonsense started. That's when all this other stuff started with Barstool and the T-shirts and all that and everything else. So it's really about 10 years old, and a lot of that was really me, not us. I mean, the Mike and the Mad Dog life was a very different life, and it was all pre-Twitter, pre-digital, all that stuff. That was not part of our 20 years. That's everything from that has come afterwards. That's all this new stuff. And it keeps changing. Like, I don't have an Instagram account. My kids talk to me about what's on Instagram when we're in the car. I have three teenagers, twins, boy and girl, and a son 12, and boy and girl twins 14. So they tell me everything. Dad, you should see what's on Instagram. You should see, Dad, you're like trending here. You're doing this, you're doing that. I don't even pay attention to it, to be honest with you. I might be in the swimming pool when they're doing it.
Just the thought. There's the thought of you getting behind a microphone, saying something, the world burning down, and just walking to the backyard and hopping in a pool.
That's basically it. On the Eli tweet, when they went crazy on Eli, I got like about 1 million hits, and I wasn't even on the air when it happened. I did it and left.
Is there any moment you look back on in this incredible, 30-year, 3-decade run of dominance in sports talk where you go, that moment was awesome? Like, that was the moment that, like, it's the first moment that you had maybe in this world where it seemed as if everything was much bigger than you could have ever imagined. I mean, you mentioned Francesa. I watched it on the 30 for 30. There was people losing their minds for you. It was like people have said this about my people, listeners, but it was like a cult was following you around.
Yeah, the first Francesa was really strange. I was not expecting it. I had heard about it the first year, and I didn't attend it. And they had it about 10 different places the first year on the same date. Then they decided to put it all in one place, and I said I would attend. And I'm figuring I'm walking in on a Saturday on a couple of people. I walk in and there's thousands of people in there and just going absolutely berserk. So yeah, that was an unusual day. I have to admit, that one was very surprising. If I go back through the Mike and the Mad Dog thing, for us, you got to remember, it was all new to us. Believe it or not, if I went back and showed you the critiques of Mike and the Mad Dog when it started, people hated it. They thought we should get split up. We shouldn't work together. We were bad together. All we did was fight. And then the first rating book came out, and we were a sensation. And then everyone said, oh, they're great together. So really, it wasn't anything that we did. It was that we got results. So as soon as we got results, within 9 months, we were number one by a mile. I mean, we were on the air. We took over a show that was in like 15th place. We went to third in the first book. We went to first in the second book. We went to first by like 1.5 miles in the third book. And then it was, oh my God, we were like royalty in New York. And that was it. It was over. It was no longer ever a question if we would be together. It was, would we be together for the rest of our lives because we were so successful. So it wasn't anything that we did on the air that caused it. It was just that we had so much success from a rating standpoint that it just became, and then everything, we were the first at everything. We didn't have any competition. Every interview came to us. Every athlete came to us. Every coach came to us. I'll give you a perfect example. We would go do a game, Knicks, Indiana, Game 7. And at 5 o'clock for a 9 o'clock game, Pat Riley would come out courtside and do a half hour with us live before Game 7. I mean, a half hour live. And he'd do that before every big game. And we would get the coaches. We would get, Friday Super Bowl, we'd get George Young, or we'd get the coach on. We had offensive coordinators from the Super Bowl. I'll give you Super Bowls, but we were the only show there. We were the only show at the Super Bowl. We had the guys on who were coaching the game on Fridays on our show. That's how long we were doing this.
Okay, so with that type of access early, and the incredible results. The interviews are things that nobody has ever heard before. Magic is happening all over the place. You gained this incredible conversation style where you were able to ask questions of people that other people wouldn't ask. For instance, and you're still doing it to this day, that conversation you had with the Mets GM, since, by the way, they've gone 20-5, I believe. Nobody has thanked you yet from the Mets organization for the Francesa bump.
I didn't do anything.
But
I didn't do anything.
The way you asked that question, in the way you phrased it is, yeah, I mean, you lied to the fans. Nobody's going to trust you right now. You're saying what every fan is thinking, but you still have the amount of respect level in your question to get good answers. Was there ever a question that you thought was like off the board? Because then in that 30 for 30, they had you and A-Rod in there where you were basically telling them to pack it up and leave New York, but it was an interesting situation now because you've become friends. But was there ever an interview where you were like, probably shouldn't do this, or do you just kind of let it fly and you know what people want to hear?
Well, I mean, everyone makes a big deal out of the one where I asked Bobby Knight when he was sitting 3 feet away if he had an anger issue. Okay,
and then you said, yeah, I know everybody has a temper. I just want to hear you say you had one.
Yeah, well, and that was after 6 months before that, where he hung up on me on the phone, called me an ass, and hung up on me when I asked him the question. So he slammed the phone down on us. So. We had stuff like that, and give Dog credit. Dog was never afraid to ask a question, ever. I mean, sometimes the question was from Mars, but I mean, the bottom line is, we just asked whatever needed to be asked. That was basically it. We just felt comfortable, and we knew the people. The one thing we got all of a sudden was we got access to everybody. I mean, I've been doing this so long that I know the coaches when they're assistants. I know them when they're young and they grow into managers. I mean, I know most of these guys long before they ever get there. I got to be honest. I play golf with a couple of the owners. I mean, it's like, hey. I mean, I don't hide that. So I know these guys very well. So I mean, we argue sometimes. They get mad at me sometimes. I mean, there's owners will get mad at me, but I have a pretty cordial relationship with most of the owners. I mean, I don't get along with Woody Johnson. I get along very well with John Mara, as an example. Nobody, I think I know Jim Dolan pretty well, but nobody really gets along with him very well. And I've been out to dinner with Jim Dolan. I can tell you that I've had dinner with him. So I mean, I can admit to that. So, but you know what? That just comes with the territory when you've been here this long. I mean, I've been doing this 35 years. That's a long time.
Have you and the GM made up for the Giants?
No, he won't talk to me. And I don't really know him that well. He just came to New York, and when he was a scout here, I didn't know him. He was not big on the totem pole. Back in the days when that was the Parcells Giants or even the Coughlin Giants, and I was very close to both of them. I've been very close to Tom. I was very close to Bill. And I didn't know Gettleman. I mean, he was a scout. I didn't know him. I didn't know all the scouts. So I didn't know Gettleman. And I only talked to him on the air once since he's been in New York. And then when I blasted him, he refused to come on. And all I said was, if I'm going to Giant camp, I think the Giants owe it to me to give me the decision makers. Give me the coach. Give me the quarterback. Give me the owner and who makes the decisions, which is John Mara, and give me the general manager. If you're not going to do that, why should I show up? So they wouldn't give me the general manager, so I said I'm not showing up.
Amen, by the way. I'm on your side there. I think the entire NFL should give you everybody because your conversations with people are incredible.
I'm going there. I'm going to take my show there. I mean, listen, if I'm in my studio, they don't owe me anything. But if I'm going to do the show from their place, I'm trekking out there to do the show there. Why would I go if they're not going to give me the guys who make the decisions? I mean, the fans want to hear why Gettleman did what he did. If I disagree, he can come on and defend his decisions. He's a big boy. Come on and defend why you did this. My big problem is this. Why you had such enormous holes, especially on defense? Why spend your two biggest assets on the same position? You either get rid of Eli and draft a quarterback, or don't draft a quarterback and draft a pass rusher there and keep Eli. To have two quarterbacks, they can't both play unless you're going to tell me that Daniel Jones is going to get 15 sacks this year. It doesn't work.
By the way, he should have an answer for that too. If he's a GM, by the way, he's done his research. He'll be able to have reasoning.
I'll tell you what his answer is. His answer is trying to save his ass so we can be here next year.
Okay, let's move on to people that do absolutely love coming on the show. Unlike the Giants' current GM, which he should want to come back on the show and make right with the sports pope. That seems like that's smart business, especially if you're willing to trek all the way out there. I mean, business. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That seems like a smart decision. Let's talk.
Let me ask you a question first.
Yes, sir.
What's the hardest part of doing your job daily?
You know, I think it's the energy to stay up all the time. For me.
That's a good one. I agree with that. That's a good one.
What is yours?
Now,
Yeah.
not being bored. That's if you're doing it as long as I have, having enough. Luckily, I like the game still. You see, if I got to the point and luckily for me, money's not an issue. I'm not hanging around for the money. So thank God. So the
Congrats,
point
man.
is, to me, I have to care enough to get worked up. Like, I watch the games. Even when I'm on vacation, I watch the games. If I get to a point where I didn't watch the games, I would never go to work. Because to me, if you don't want to watch the games, don't do what we do. Because you can't do it in one city. The fans expect you to know what's going on. They expect you to go in there, and when the manager screwed up, you got to be able to go in there and know why you think he screwed up and take him through the situation, or why you don't think he screwed up. You got to see the games, and if it's a problem for you to watch the games, then you're in the wrong line of work. That's the first thing as far as sports talk. If you don't want to watch the damn games, okay? And on Sunday, I have a room with 4 TVs in it, and I never leave it from the first football week to the last football week. I watch every game. Anytime you want to come, Pat, you can sit in my room and watch all the games.
I was about to ask you, can I come?
I started that 40 years ago. I still do it every Sunday.
I cannot wait to come there. That is going to be
anytime. You know where I learned that? On the NFL Today. I grew up on the NFL Today, and I got to watch all the games during the show with Musburger, Jimmy the Greek, and I worked with those guys when I was a kid. And the bottom line is, when I lost that show on Sunday, when I wasn't there anymore, I said, man, I can't see all the NFL games. Well, then came the Sunday ticket, and then I had all the games in my house. So, man, on Sunday, I have every game on at the same time, and I watch all the games.
I couldn't. Are you an emotional watcher, or are you just kind of hanging out, taking things in? What's the food?
I'm not an emotional watcher.
You're just kind of hanging out, having some food?
Unless I had a bet on the game.
Come on, you son of a...
Then my wife says, "Oh, now I know he's got a bet on the game."
You and your wife have a beautiful relationship. It's kind of like an unwritten storyline always throughout your entire life, is you and your beautiful wife catching you either eating something you shouldn't be, or drinking, or slipping in a drink. That is a massive part of your life, being a big-time family man, I'd assume.
Well, I mean, listen, she's a lot younger than I am, and what I say is, I'm the boss from the time I leave the driveway till I get back in the driveway. I mean, that's basically it. Then I'm not the boss anymore. So I admit that. And when I'm in the house, I just say, yes, ma'am. That's it.
Smart. I need to start doing more of that if I had to guess.
I mean, that's it. Otherwise it doesn't work. It doesn't. So, yes, and I didn't have kids until I was older, so I cherish them. So I have 2 boys and a girl. So, yes, they are very important to me. And like I said, I didn't have my first kid until I was 49. So having 3 of them, it was a big deal. So I really I get a kick out of them. And they're both real big sports fans, so it's kind of fun. They've enjoyed this stuff through the years. You know, I got to go to a lot of games, different big games, stuff like that.
I think we lost you. We got to call you back.
I got you now.
Okay, sorry about that. That's our fault.
That's okay.
Our internet's
it's
trash over here.
I'll take the blame. Go ahead. What's up?
I will let you know your finger is covering up a little bit of the screen, and the internet's going to love that.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I got you. Go ahead. This is the first time I ever did an interview on the phone. Come on.
Hey, you're crushing if it means anything. It's only getting started. It's only getting started. You're going to absolutely love that, just like you'll love Tommy John. Ooh. There's a lot of underwear brands out there that claim to be big on comfort, but if that were true, then why are 75% of men and women dissatisfied with their underwear?
Good question.
Riddle me that.
Good question.
My hunch is that they haven't tried Tommy John, the revolutionary underwear brand that's upgraded over 1 million lives. Tommy John doesn't just claim to be the most comfortable underwear on the planet. They actually have the stats to back it up. Like, how about this number? Over 7 million. That's the number of pairs of Tommy John underwear they've sold, with 96% of their customers rating them with 4 stars or greater.
That's pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
Get rid of that 1-star bullshit you're wearing right now.
Throw it at.
With Tommy John's revolutionary underwear, the legs never ride up and the waistbands never roll down. Their horizontal quick draw fly has been proven to save men over 217 unfurling minutes a year, and their feather-light air fabric guarantees 0 visible panty lines for the ladies.
Love it.
Can confirm. I've shaved like 2 minutes off my ear.
And, yeah, you have. And off of your life with that fantasy football.
That was rough.
Video coming soon.
We survived, though. We're still here.
It wasn't comfortable, but nothing is as comfortable as Tommy John underwear. Tommy John is so sure you'll love the fit and feel that it's all backed by their best pair you'll ever wear. It's free guarantee. That means if you don't love your first pair, you'll get a refund. Tommy John, no adjustment needed. Hurry to TommyJohn.com/Pat now to get 20% off your first order. That's TommyJohn.com/Pat for 20% off. TommyJohn.com/PAT. The best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guarantee. Go ahead and take care of the kit and caboodle today with your friends from Tommy John. Speaking of interviews on the phone, your callers and the way you interact with callers. I'm going to have this on my show. What is your mindset towards people that are calling into the show trying to be a part of the action?
You just hit on what is the number one asked question. Why are you so hard on the callers? And I said, you really are disrespectful to the callers. I said, no, I'm not. I cherish my audience. I challenge my callers. They're 2 different people. 98% of the people never call. The 2% that call are frustrated performers. It's like you're on a stage and they walk out onto the middle of the stage and just stand there. They have to do something to make your show better. If they don't do that, you know what? They don't belong there. They're not the audience. The audience never performs. They're never on the air. The callers, I challenge them. The audience, I cherish it. It's a completely different thing.
That was an incredible. Hey, that was an incredible piece of advice right there. That whole stage thing.
I can tell you just listen. If you're smart, you just really learn something there, because that's very true.
I mean, I'm not the smartest guy. I dropped out of college, but I feel like that was a.
Hey, listen, you played football, I know, a long time without a helmet. I do know that. Seriously. Listen, your callers, why would you say, oh, that's a great thought. Thank you for calling. I mean, my God, give me a gun. I mean, the bottom line is you want to challenge your callers. If you're going to call up and come on my show, if you don't say something to make it better, I don't want you there. I'm going to tell you what I really think, that you're a jackass getting lost, okay? If you're good, I'll say you're good. If you're bad, I'll say you're bad. But you're there to perform. You called up to perform. You are not a regular part of the audience. You are now a performer. You want to be there. And most of the callers call every day. You know that. There's a regular list of callers. They like to perform. They call all the shows. They like to get on, and they know on my show, if they don't come with something, they're going to hear it.
Oh, that's incredible. You have had some callers here in the digital age attempt to troll you.
Yes.
Well,
that's another one of those sites that they get credit or something. I think they get like green stamps, or they get like Amazon points, or they get something for doing that. I'm not sure what they get.
Oh, fuck. When did I Never Said That start? That's a massive thing on the internet. You probably don't even know that. I Never Said That is one of the hottest things on Francesa internet, is when a caller thinks they got...
The thing is, you got to watch that stuff. You got to remember, too, that on those sites, if it doesn't come out the way they want it, they can edit it, too. You got to be very careful with it.
That is true. You can edit anything in these days.
And we have caught them editing those. So let's be honest. We've caught them on numerous occasions editing those. So they're in the entertainment business. They're trying to get hits. And they want it to work the way they want to make it work. I could make 10 predictions in a row right. If I make the 11th wrong, it's going to lead their thing for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it works, Well,
and that's because everything you do moves the needle. So it's more
Bingo, that's the idea, which we know that, though. So it doesn't make any, that's they only want to run the ones that you get wrong. That's the way. They don't run any of the ones you get right. You know that.
How do you feel about this upcoming NFL season? Who's going to be some teams that you think are going to come out of the woodwork? Are you happy with what happened? Obviously not with the Giants, maybe the Jets bringing in Lev Bell. How do you feel about everybody?
I wouldn't have brought Bell in. I don't trust him. I think he's a bad team guy. I think he's a me guy. So I don't like selfish players. I think he's a completely selfish player. I didn't get along with Beckham. I was very hard on Beckham. Beckham and I hated each other. So I mean, that's pretty. Everyone knows that. That's not a secret. I think the Jets have. I love Donald. I think he's really good. I think getting the center to come out of retirement was big. They really got to get stronger at the tackles offensively. Their defense has a chance to be really good. If the Alabama kid is good, their safeties are exceptional. They have a chance to be really good on defense if the Alabama kid's as good as everybody says he is. I got to wait to see him. I haven't seen him yet on any real situation, but they say he's really good. I think the Jets. Now, I don't know what to make of Gage. See, I didn't think Gage was a bad coach in Miami. I thought he was a little weird. And then when I saw him rolling his eyes at the press conference, I really thought he was weird.
Hey, he's snorting smelling salts right now. Gase is out there snorting smelling salts, too.
He's weird, Gage. I mean, he really is. I saw him break off a thing before he started the game the other night. I mean, I was like, what is he doing? He's an odd duck, but I don't care if he wins. Who cares? So, but I think it's about getting the quarterback to be who he is, and I think he's really good. I like Sam a lot. I liked him in college. They have a chance to be an 8-9 win team, I think, if things fit together. They're not ready to win big yet, but they're ready to take a step. Giants have no defense. I mean, their offensive line finally is going to be better. The tight end's going to have a big year for all you rotisserie nerds. He's going to have a very big, or a fantasy
rotisserie. Hold on. Did you say rotisserie nerds?
Yeah, or fantasy, whatever you want to call that stuff. You know, that was the biggest mistake I ever made, Pat. You know that?
What's that?
That was the biggest mistake I ever made financially. I could have owned that. I could have owned that whole genre if I wanted to. They begged me to get involved in the beginning. They offered me everything and I wouldn't do it. We wouldn't even do it on a show. And that was the biggest financial mistake we ever made because we could have owned that stuff. I mean, they begged us to get involved in the beginning. I can't tell you how much the offers they gave us to get involved.
You just didn't like the thought of it or what?
I just thought it was not real football. I thought, you know what? I don't care how many yards your back has. Tell me who wins the game. I just didn't care. And Dog and I hated it. We just never got involved. We never talked it. But I'm telling you, the offers I got were unbelievable to be involved in that thing. We would have made a fortune. Absolute fortune. That was the biggest financial mistake I ever made because it turned out to be really big. It really did. So I was dead wrong about that. I don't play it, but I've never played it. I've never been involved in it. I don't have a team or anything like that. You know what? I care about the games. I can't watch the game that way. I want to watch the game. I just don't look at the game that way. That's all. It's just me. It's just I don't care if a guy gets an 80-yard run or something like that. It's, I'm not worried about my guy versus that. I never looked at it like that. You like it?
No, I can't get into it. It takes a lot of time, too. These people are moving players, and they got flex
plays. They call up trades. And somebody called me up for a trade at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'd kill him.
What does the next 5 years look like for you? What is the next? Are you going to just do this forever? The world hopes you do. What is your plan?
No, I see. Listen, I always made the comment, I got to be true to it. I really had a belief that you shouldn't stay in these great jobs. And I thought I had the best job in the world. I don't think you should stay in them till you're 80, because if everybody stays in them till they're 80, then what happens to the generation behind you? So I think eventually you got to get out of these good jobs and give somebody else a chance. So with that, before that long, I'll move out of the job, and then I'll do some content somewhere and do some stuff. But I don't see me doing the drive, doing afternoon drive that much longer. Only because I think it's time to let someone else have a chance. I've had an incredible run. I'm lucky enough to be in all those Hall of Fames you already mentioned, so I don't have to worry about that. I mean, I've already done everything I need to do. If I finish first again, what do I care? I've already finished first like 77 times.
Who's counting?
So, I mean, listen. Yeah, it's about 75 or 76. Maybe 77. It's close. It's close. Yeah, it's close. I do keep count. Absolutely. Hell, that's the idea. That's how I get paid.
Hey,
let's finish it first.
Hey, that's incredibly selfless of you to think about the next generation of broadcasters. That's very cool.
I just think I've always said it, and I don't want to be a phony now and not do it. So I'd like to see someone else get a chance and get my job. Now, listen, if I had made enough money, I'd stay. But I made enough money, so I don't have to worry about it. And I'll do something, and I'll probably get overpaid for doing it. That's the good part. Because I'm a good negotiator. Now, how about you? Didn't I see you're going to be doing games now? Aren't you going to be doing color?
Yeah, Thursday night football, college games.
How good is that? I'll tell you right now. I told ESPN they missed the boat. They should have let. Here's the guy. They have the guy who's perfect. I would make Tebow the Monday night analyst. He'd be perfect. The nation loves him, and he can't hit a curveball, so he's worthless. He's the nicest guy in the world. Tebow, I kill Tebow. Pat, here's the true story. I kill Tebow. I kill him. I kill the Mets for putting him on a roster, taking a roster spot. I kill him. I go down to spring training within 15 minutes. He's my best friend.
Yes, it happened to me too.
I said, you know what? I feel like a fool. You're the nicest guy I ever met. My kids loved him. My daughter wanted to marry him. I mean, the guy's the nicest guy who ever lived. It's hard not to love him. He's a great guy. He really is.
Because you would think somebody who's portrayed as literally the son of God is what would
Right. Basically.
you would think it would be fake, but then you meet him, it's like, no, this is legitimately the guy.
No, I'm convinced now he is. I really am. I think he is. Because he's like perfect. You don't want to vote for him for president, right away, like for life. Let him be president for life. The guy's perfect.
Hey, he's handsome.
Never had a cavity. He's got muscles on his muscles, and I don't think he's ever done anything wrong.
And he's handsome as hell. I mean,
he's great looking. He's got muscles on top of his muscles. He's modest. I mean, he's the nicest guy, but he can't hit a damn curveball. The guy's hitting 40 in the minor leagues, and he makes 15 million being the color guy on ESPN. Put him in the job. See, Peyton Manning doesn't want that job. You know why? He doesn't want to criticize anybody. He wants to be loved. He wants to do commercials. Peyton Manning's gonna make money doing whatever he does, but he doesn't want to do that. So that's fine. Let Tebow do it, or you be perfect doing Monday night. Just kill everybody. Just go out there. You were a punter. You didn't play anyway. So
easy. I was just about to ask you about the Jets kicking situation. You guys don't even have a kicker. Your kicker retired.
Hey, listen, it'd be nice if you brought one to the game, but they might remember that. If Woody was back, they wouldn't remember it. But if with him in London, maybe they'll remember to bring a kicker to the game.
I wanted to circle back with Quinn and Williams, where you talked about if he's as good as they say he is, it's going to be great for the Jets defense. Do you enjoy that he has like an incredible personality? Do you like the personalities of the game, or you just don't care about anything outside the lines?
I don't care about the players very much. I have to admit, I find the coaches fascinating. First of all, now I can't relate to the players anymore. I mean, I could, but I was never a guy who was very interested in the players. I've had a couple of players who were friends. I've had coaches who were friends. I didn't have a lot of play. Like A-Rod and I are friendly. I felt bad for A-Rod because everyone was kicking his ass, so I tried to protect him. I really felt bad for him. Here's the guy who's the richest man in the world, and and hit 700 home runs, but I felt bad for him. I really did. And he's got more money than God, and he's got everything he could want, except he's sometimes dumber than a brick in the decisions he makes. That's all. So, but I like him. I like him personally. I always have. I knew him from the days he was in Seattle. I really like him. He's a genuinely good kid. He really is. He's not a bad guy. Bernie Williams is a friend. He's been a friend for a long time. One of the great clutch players ever. That's what I liked about him. I'll give you an example. Jeter and I, if I talked to Jeter by myself for 10 minutes in my life, but he did his job, I did my job. We never had a crossword in 20 years. You know why? He was professional. He knew what he had to do. He did it. He knew what I had to do. He knew my job. I knew his job. We never had an issue. Never once.
Okay, you said you and Odell hated each other. How'd that start? Was it with the net,
absolutely.
the kicking net?
He couldn't handle the criticism, and I banged him pretty hard. Yeah, that's it.
He's a good football
here
player.
was Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin was a great coach. Beat Bill Belichick twice in the Super Bowl. Was a great coach. He made Tom Coughlin look like a total fool. He made Tom Coughlin look like he didn't even know what he was doing out there. He embarrassed the hell out of him. Here was one of the great gentlemen of the game, one of the great coaches of the game, and that guy made him look like a dope because Tom was either told not to or just felt it wasn't right to chastise him. He should have pulled him out of the game by his ear against Carolina that time.
Hey, Tom's doing great work down in Jacksonville. If Nick Foles can complete a couple passes, that team's going to be a good football team all of a sudden. Nobody's talking about good for Tom Coughlin. The boys here, my guys.
How many guys you got working on your show?
Okay, so we have 6 guys in here with me.
How many have open mics during your show?
Well, it's kind of they pick and choose their times. It's not an open mic, but they feel as if whenever they get in, they can get in,
Here's how we differ. In my show, there's only one mic.
Hey, by the way, mic's on.
Mic's on, and no one else has a mic on. No one else. Not anyone in the studio, not anyone in the broadcasting room. No one has a mic on except me. That's it.
If somebody else wants to say something, which I think your producer does say some things every once
in a while.
Yeah,
raises his hand.
That's what Dan Patrick does too.
And do you get mad at him if he says something you don't enjoy?
No, I wouldn't get mad. No, he wouldn't be there tomorrow. He works for me. What do you think? He's stupid? He gets paid when he works for me. He's not going to jeopardize it.
Just the thought of your producer having to go through all the social media platforms after you burn the world down.
He does that all the time. That's what he does. He gets a kick out of it, though, man. You know, I've had a lot of producers. Most of them are broadcasters now who have been my producers. They're almost every one of them's in the business.
You're a great mentor, man. You've done.
No, I didn't do anything. They did it on their own. They just ran away from me and did it on their own.
I'm sure they didn't learn shit from you over all the years. I'm sure they did.
It may be a little rubbed off. I doubt it.
My guys have great questions for you, though, man. We are such huge fans of yours over here. We're so thankful for your time. I know this isn't something you normally do, so
Stop kissing my ass and answer questions.
Well, it's not my fucking questions. It's theirs, all right? I'm just trying to set it up here so we can buy some more time. Jesus.
Okay.
Mike, question for you. One of the biggest storylines over the weekend in the NFL was Antonio Brown's situation with the Raiders. First it was the feet, now it's the helmet. I wanted to see if you could grace us with a take on the AB issues.
I wouldn't have him on my team if he was the last man breathing, okay? I can't stand him. I couldn't stand him in Pittsburgh. And now, can he blame this on Ben Roethlisberger, too? Can he figure out how to do that? Okay? That guy just shows you it doesn't matter what uniform he's wearing, he's going to be a pain in the ass. That's all there is to it. I wouldn't give him $5, no less $15 million a year or whatever the hell he's making right now. I mean, forget it. He's got to learn that it's not just about talent. Talent's not enough. He's going to be home somewhere 5 years after he can't play anymore, and he's going to say, boy, you know what? Did I screw up my career?
Oh, you think he's going to have that moment where he's sleeping on?
Yes, absolutely. I think they all do, where they say, boy, you know what? I should have been a great player. And you know what? I messed it up. Because and you know this, Pat, you only got a chance to be great for a very short time in the NFL. A very short time.
I agree. Everybody has their spans wherever they're at their peak. And Antonio Brown is, so you even agree, Antonio Brown, incredible football player. It's just everything else.
Great talent. So's Bell, so Beckham. All three of them, though, I wouldn't have any of them near me. They're such all selfish jerks.
Not you, though. You're looking out for the next generation of broadcasters. Selfless man, Mike Francesa.
No. Listen, I want football players that want to play. See, here's the thing. Lawrence Taylor ran all night. Lawrence Taylor, was insane. But you know what? He was a great team guy. He just wanted to win the damn game, and he was going to figure out a way to win the game. That's what you want out of great players. Go on there on Sunday and figure out how to win the game.
The locker room is such an important part of the NFL. It doesn't get talked about enough. Being a good locker room guy, good chemistry, everybody getting along. And it does seem as if with the egos growing in the NFL, that might be fading away. This next guy asking you a question has a popped blood vessel in his right eyeball, but he's got a good brain.
Well, just keep him off air. Just keep him off the camera. That's all. Okay?
Mike, you talked about over your 35 years, all the access you got and all the people that you got to interview. Is there anyone that you did not get a chance to interview that you've always wanted to speak with?
Joe DiMaggio, could not get him. Tried every which way, could not get him to a microphone. No matter what. Hank Goldberg, who you guys might know, who was a big guy down in Miami, who I had worked with Jimmy the Greek when we were kids. He was very close to Joe, still couldn't set it up. We even tried to get Ted Williams to set it up for us, Dog and I. And he said, don't worry, I'll get Joe to do it. And we could never get Joe DiMaggio to. He was not one of nature's noblemen, okay, to be honest with you. Joe DiMaggio, he was a god as a player. He's married to Marilyn Monroe, okay. I mean, he was Joe DiMaggio. But he just wasn't one of nature's noblemen, and we could never get him to do the show, ever. I always wanted to interview Joe DiMaggio, and I would have asked him about Marilyn Monroe, and then he would have walked out anyway.
We finally have Joe DiMaggio, and see you later, Joe DiMaggio. What a moment that would be. Oh, my God. Nature's nobleman. What a quote right there.
Hey, he was just a jerk, really, to be honest with you. But you know what? Hey, he was Joe DiMaggio. He could be anything he wanted to be.
Now, you view that about the old school guys, but the younger guys that act in a similar fashion.
No, different. Joe DiMaggio went up to Boston with basically heel spurs where he couldn't even walk and got 8 hits in a doubleheader. He was a winner. If these guys were winners, if they cared enough to go out and play, I don't care what they are off the field, I don't want them to hurt their teams, and these guys do nothing but hurt their teams.
You love winners.
That's it. I don't want guys who are team guys. I want them to go out there. I don't care if they tear the town down after the game's over. What do I care? I'm not their parents. I want them to not wreck the teams. Beckham wrecked the team when he was here. He hurt the team when he was here because there had to be two sets of rules. His, and then everyone said, well, wait a second. Why? If you can't chastise him, you're not chastising me either. There's the breakdown completely of any character or any discipline on that team. That kills teams. How come every year Beckham was here, they lost?
I'm going to say Beckham.
No, not just him, but it was a breakdown where they didn't chastise him. Same thing with Shockey. They didn't win till Shockey left. Shockey was the same way. He was a total jerk. As soon as he left, they won Super Bowls.
It's incredible. I love everything you do. I want to let you know, whenever you start speaking, you're one of nature's noblemen, bro.
I'm not, but go ahead.
This next question is going to come from a brilliant mind, I can already tell.
Mr. Francesa, if the radio career didn't work out, what would have been like your plan B career?
You know what? That's a good question. My mother always said I should be a lawyer.
Really?
That makes sense.
I wouldn't want to go to school anymore. If I had known Wall Street, I like to dabble in stocks now. I like to invest. If I would have realized how much fun Wall Street would have been, I would have loved Wall Street. I didn't know enough about it. I wish I knew what I knew now about Wall Street about 30 years ago. I would have loved going to Wall Street.
Okay, what are some financial investments that I should be doing on the stocks? You day trade or is it long term?
A little bit of both, but investing means you keep it. You're not looking to trade it, okay? Meaning long term, meaning keep the stock. I'm going to give you a couple right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give
please.
you two companies. You ready?
Yep.
A company called Slack, which the symbol on the big board is WORK. Work is the symbol, Slack. The other one is a company called Zoom, ZOOM. This is, you guys should know about this. This is high-flung technology, okay? ZM is the symbol for that one, ZM.
Okay.
Take those two. They're very new companies. Put them away. They will be enormous companies, Zoom and Slack.
That's what I'm talking about. Zoom is the recording stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, video conferencing.
And
Yep.
Slack
Video
is that app?
conferencing. Video conferencing is Zoom, yes.
We use them both.
Yeah, we use them both here. That's smart.
Well, you see, the fact that you use them both tells you why I think they're going to be enormous companies.
See, we've never met before today, and you knew that we use these companies. That's why you
I didn't know that you use them. I have no idea, but I tell you right now, they're going to be big companies. That I can tell you.
Do you give out investment advice on your show?
No, I do not. No. I just do it for myself. I do tweet out it once in a while. I gave people the company Beyond Meat when it was 20 and it went to 200, so they like that.
Well, when Zoom and Slack do that, I'm going to send you something.
No, don't
nice.
say, yeah, these I'm telling you to put away and let your kid have them. Zoom and Slack. Put them away for 10 years and don't ever sell them and reinvest the dividends. Very important.
All right, let me lock that one in. That's a 20-year investment. All right, thank you.
Give them to your kids. Put them in your kids' accounts. Zoom and Slack.
I have no kids. I don't think I can, by the way. I don't know.
Why?
I mean,
How old are you?
32. Physically, I can. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally.
Why?
Because you have to, like, care for them and, like, love them. And I just...
Yes, you do. But you know what? It'll happen naturally. You don't think it'll happen. And the first day you meet him, you can't take your eyes off him. Your life changes forever. You know why? First time in your life, you care about something more than yourself.
Hey, you just went real deep right there on me.
That's true.
I felt it
First
down
time
there in
your
my
life-
soul.
You know what? Marriage doesn't do that. Nothing does it. The first time you meet them is the first time that you genuinely take a bullet for them.
And you had a baby when you were 49, your first kid, and now you have 3?
Right in a row. 2 and then the one right afterwards.
It's incredible.
Hey, it was a Valentine's Day baby. You know how it happens.
The romantic Mike Francesa taking questions from the room.
Mr. Francesa, do you have an interview that sticks out in your mind as your all-time favorite and then one that's your all-time least favorite?
Yeah, Don King. I couldn't get a damn word in edgewise. I couldn't even get in. I'm telling you. You know what? If you remember in the movie Ali, damn, Don, you used every D in a dictionary. Well, he did. I'm telling you. You couldn't get in. One was worse than him, though. You know who was worse than him? I'm trying to think. There had to be one that was.
I'll tell you, I just saw your brain start to work right there mid-sentence. That was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, well, he was one where you could, like, you were just like waiting for 5 minutes for just a little bit of a crack to get a word in, but you couldn't. He just kept going on and on and on and on for like 20 minutes. You know, Jesse Jackson was the same way. I interviewed Jesse Jackson. He just went on forever. Jesse, do you remember what the question was? I don't even remember what the question was.
Who was the best?
We had Sid Luckman and Otto Graham together in an interview. No, excuse me. Sid Luckman and Sammy Bohr together in an interview with Dog and I. We hooked them up, and we let them talk to each other. And here were these two old giants who hadn't talked in like a million years. It was unbelievable just to listen to them talk to each other, going back like 40 years ago football. It was amazing. We happened to have them on. They hooked in together, and Dog and I actually had them both on. They just talked to each other for about old football. It was unbelievable just to listen to them.
Those
two
types
legendary guys.
Those types of moments happen. It really changes things. Like, for instance, whenever Mad Dog called into your show after and you guys had that moment, I mean, that's a legendary moment in your history and your existence. It was a cool thing. It was a real moment there.
Yeah, it's funny. They didn't. That was one where I kind of broke the rule. He had left on not very good terms, and they didn't let him say goodbye. In radio, they don't like you to say goodbye after you leave. They don't want you to, because they don't know what you're going to say. Right? They think, you might blast the company or anything else. And this was CBS that owned FAN at the time. So Dog agrees to leave, and they won't let him say goodbye. So he's out. And they said to me, we don't want you to put him on. And I said, okay. And then I went in and put him on. So, and it turned out to be one of the classic hours in the history of the show, because that was the day he said goodbye, which, when he started crying and the whole thing. And, so it was, we talked about 20 years together. And we hadn't gotten along that summer. We probably hadn't talked in I can tell you this right now. This is true. Mike and the Mad Dog, 5.5 hours every day, 5 days a week. We actually had periods, a 6-month period, where we never spoke a word to each other off the air or during a commercial. And we were in the room together 5.5 hours every day. And no one knew in the audience that we were fighting. And we hadn't spoken in 6 months.
Wow. That's like the epitome of professionalism. Whenever the light goes on.
Not a word. One of us would leave the room during every commercial break.
Did you guys just alternate turns? Like, you guys just understood? Like, all right, I'll leave this one.
No, I always left the room. He'd stay in the room. I'd leave the room.
So was this your decision not to talk for 6 months?
No, it was both. We weren't talking. We had plenty of time. We had a lot of fights. We had plenty of times. As a matter of fact, that summer, it's in the documentary. My wife put the show back together. If she hadn't done it, it was over. I had decided it was leaving that summer, and she actually got the show back together, which is a true story, in 2000. And we lasted another 8 years after that.
I'll tell you what, if the thought of having to speak to somebody for 5.5 hours straight every single day for 30 years, 20 years, like, that's a very massive relationship that you're having with somebody.
Yeah, and we traveled together a lot, too. I mean, we traveled, we did a ton of remotes. We went on a lot of trips. We traveled together a lot. We were together all the time. I mean, we were together all the time. Airports, hotels, here, there, everywhere. We were together all the time. I mean, really, we saw so much of each other. It was unbelievable. We spent 20 years together. We really did. People were like, oh, you didn't get along. I said, we spent 20 years together. I mean, it's a long time. And then everyone's always trying to make a big deal over, oh, Mike, you did this first, or this did happen, or this or that, so it's always that way. When you have a team, it's always, everything isn't always equal, and when that happens, it makes it very tough. It really does. If you go back, Abbott and Costello didn't get along. Lewis and Martin didn't get along. Mike and the Mad Dog, we had our moments. We got along. We didn't get along. We have our moments.
You're together a lot. Humans are going to eventually butt heads. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
And look, the two guys who made the two-man show before us, all Sports Talk was all one-man show. We made the shows that became two-man shows and three-man shows and four-man shows. And now the two guys who made it the two-man show, who created the two-man show, revolutionized the business, have been doing solo shows for 12 years apiece.
Hey, there was two Justin Timberlakes in that NSYNC there, Mike and the Mad Dog. You're both great solo artists as well, which was originally your plan, right? You didn't want to be a two-man show. You wanted to be a solo show way back.
Badly. Not only that, we always thought we were better solo, and we always did solo shows. Me Sunday, him Saturday, our whole lives. That's what I think made Mike and the Mad Dog the best show ever, is because we always were two solo acts. We never were a one-man gang. We never vacationed together. One of us was there when the other one wasn't there. We covered the whole year that way, and we liked to work alone. We loved to work alone. So that's why I think the show was that good, is because we were solo acts.
That's awesome. This next guy is the guy that introduced me to you.
Really?
Yeah, he's been a fan his entire life, and he has an impression. I'm sure you've heard.
Where's he from?
Iowa, actually.
Waterloo, Iowa.
Yeah. Big Yankees fan.
Yeah, I went there. I did a couple of Iowa Michigan games back then. Hayden Fye wasn't a very friendly man.
He has an impression of you. How many of impressions of you have you heard and liked?
None.
I'm not going to do it then. I can't remember.
Yeah, he's not going to do it.
Do it. I hate it, but do it anyway. Go ahead.
Okay. After this, we'll be back with Dave Gettleman if he decides to come on the show. I don't know. We'll see. Okay.
See, I don't think I sound like that. It's true. Plus, everyone always, I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but I graduated magna cum laude from college. It makes it sound like I don't have a brain in my head.
That's fair. No disrespect.
I got an academic scholarship to college. I mean, I know it was only St. John's, but I still got an academic scholarship. But the impersonations always make it seem like I don't have a brain in my head, which really is far from the truth.
Mike, my question is, at this point in your career, I'm assuming you've had the opportunity to write like a big sprawling biography or maybe have like a movie about you. Maybe not, but if that was the case, would you do it? And who would you want to play you in a movie?
Who would I want to play me? Brad Pitt, probably.
Clooney?
I don't think he would, but I'd take Brad Pitt. No, I've never done a book. I have had a couple of offers. As a matter of fact, I've been dabbling with the CIA people with a book for the last year, and I've never wanted to do one, basically because I have a lot of respect for books. And I think most sports books are dreadful, okay? I mean, absolutely dreadful. And when people who are broadcasters do them, they really stink. They're usually just a book of lists. So they're really not very good. Feinstein writes books. That's books. He researches it. He can write. I mean, he was a terrible broadcaster, but he's a good writer. He's Dave Marinis is a great writer. His book on Lombardi's the best sports biography ever written. If you've never read it, When Pride Still Mattered, grab it tonight and read it. It's the best sports book ever written. But I have too much respect for books. But I can tell you this. I actually was in a movie recently with Adam Sandler. There's a movie coming out called Uncut Gems. It is a serious movie. It's not a comedy. It's a dark comedy. And it's a Scorsese-produced movie done by a couple of young directors who were big fans of mine. And they gave me 2 scenes in the movie where I play a bookmaker and Adam Sandler is in hock to me a bunch of money. And I start screaming at him in a restaurant. And they have a scene in the movie where I'm yelling at the guy in the kitchen because he doesn't know how to make it a Caesar salad. And I'm screaming to him how to make a Caesar salad item by item in the movie. So I don't want to ruin the scenes, but there's 2 scenes in there in the movie. It comes out, I think, in October. It's called Uncut Gems. And Sandler was great. I spent 18 hours with him doing these 2 scenes, and it was a lot of fun.
How many takes?
I'm telling you, I hit it the first take, I swear. 100 takes. They do so many different angles, and they'll say, that was great, and they'll come over and they'll move your wristwatch, and then they'll do it again. Then they'll say, that was great. They'll come over, they'll move the salt shaker, and they'll do it again. And then they'll put a camera over your head, and they'll do it again. They'll put a camera under the table, and they'll do it again. And he did like 40 takes at each one. It's unbelievable. And the kitchen was like 1,000 degrees, and I'm in a suit, and it was unbelievable in there. I cannot believe how hard those people work. I did 2 scenes and was there 14 hours.
Were you about sick of the retakes? Or were you just along for the ride?
No, I really wanted to do it right because, I just thought it was really challenging. I just wanted to do it because these guys were serious about it, and I'm there with Alan Sandler, who was obviously really good at it. So I wanted to do it right, and I think I did a good job. We'll see, But it's pretty funny stuff. I mean, you know what I didn't like about it? They made me say fuck on it. And I didn't want to say that in the movies, but I did. I didn't want to.
Hey, it sounded good coming out there, though.
I didn't really want to say that. I don't like to curse on the air, so that's one thing I don't like to do. So, I did curse in the movie, I have to admit.
Did you know the Caesar salad ingredients before the movie, or
No, I did not. I did. I know it was anchovies. We screamed about the anchovies a lot.
You're incredible, Foxy.
Yeah, Mike, we ask a lot of our guests these questions, and I got to know, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year?
I actually think, and I think this is with my heart, but Andy's put everything into this year. I mean, if D Ford doesn't jump offside, and he did jump offside by a mile and a half.
He was lined up.
So they had to call it. They had no choice. I mean, They didn't want to call it, but they had to call it. He's offside by I know Andy said, why they called it? They called it because he was offside about a country mile. Andy has put everything into this year. He's an old guy, a friend of mine. I've known him a million years. I want him to win, and I just think everything is right for them this year to win the Super Bowl. So I'm praying and hoping that this is their year. I really think everything is right. I don't think he'll be able to keep it together the same way after this year, because I think teams' windows are very short. They should have won it last year, like the Falcons. Who basically, if you locked their coaches at halftime in a room, they would have won the Super Bowl. Okay, but so the Falcons should have won a Super Bowl. So they're downhill since then. They're never getting it back. They had their window; it's closed. They're going down. They're downhill. They're gone. It's over. They're going straight downhill. The Chiefs, they have the window still. I don't know how long the windows stay open. I always wanted Andy, because I think Andy's really a good coach. I wanted Andy to win a Super Bowl. And, he's been a very good coach in this league. He's a good guy. I've liked him a long time. And I hope he wins it this year. And that's my pick. I think everything's right for them this year to win a Super Bowl.
Okay, so Slack, Zoom, and the Chiefs. Three investments.
The Chiefs are chalky. I understand that. But I just think everything's right this year for them to win.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I don't know what you're going to be doing next, but I guarantee you're going to win. You like winners, and you yourself are a winner. You started in a rough area, came to prominence your own way. You've never changed, and all you do is dominate. And I can't thank you enough for your time today. You're an absolute legend, my brother.
I guess that means you're saying goodbye with all that good stuff, huh? All that.
Yeah, I was going to. You see, I was going out on.
Hey, listen, pleasure. You know what? I know you do it. Really, in all seriousness, you know what? I wish you luck. The podcast thing has got to sort itself out. I've been very critical of it. A lot of companies ask me to get involved. I haven't done a podcast. And, again, I think that it's going to be bigger than I thought it was. You're at the head of the curve there, clearly, you and a couple other guys. So congratulations, what you're doing. If you're making money doing it, and you are, good luck to you. Keep it up. Don't let anybody tell you to do it differently. Do what's in your gut. Don't let some executive or somebody tell you to do it differently. Do what you believe in, and what you feel. Just keep doing that because it's working. So, and I wish you luck. And you know what? I hope to see you on TV doing some games. And if you do, don't be afraid. Do it. Say what you really believe, not what you say on the air. Say what you believe, because most guys go on there and pull their punches. That's what's wrong. Go on there and say what's in what you really believe, because that's what the fans want. When you're genuine. That's when it works. Romo's been good on there. You know why? He goes on there and he says what he believes and what he sees. He's not afraid to tell people what he sees, and what he sees is working. That's why he's captured the imagination of everybody so quickly, because he's unique the way he's doing it. He's actually just reacted to with what he feels. And Nance's, who's a good friend of mine, is letting it work. He's riding them the way Summerall rode Madden. It's working. So Romo's going to be really big in the business. He really is, and that's why, because he's different. And you know what? When you get your chance, Pat, that's what you do. Do what you really believe in, what you feel.
I can't thank you enough for that advice. I can't give you any advice other than I can't wait to watch you review a pizza with Dave Portnoy. And I'm going to re-listen.
Portnoy owes me for all the shirts I sold. That's it. So you know what? He's buying the pizza, because he's been hawking my shirts for 1,000 years. You know that. So but he's a smart guy. He really is. They've done a good job, Boston. See, there's another one who carved out a niche. They did a really smart thing. They're smart guys. That's what you got to do. You got to carve out a niche. You've done the same thing. So congratulations to you. The other thing, though, is, lose a couple of the guys that I heard today.
You got it. We'll have a cutting process like Facebook.
Really, you know what? I'd cut it in half right now.
Mike, I can't thank you enough. I'm going to re-listen back to all this advice. I'm going to take notes. I got Slack, Zoom, the Chiefs, and the amount of life and career advice you've given me today is more than I could ever thank you for. Ladies and
it's not a cartoon. It was a real stock. Slack and Zoom. It's not a cartoon. Slack and Zoom are real companies. You realize that?
Yeah, I'm going to go dump my entire bank account in both of these for my kids.
No, 80%. Keep 20 under the bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Francesa.
See you, Pat. Thanks.
Huge thanks to Mike Francesa for doing that. He told us it was only his second podcast with Bill Simmons and then us, but everybody knows he did the A-Rod Corp. Everybody knows. But it's okay. He does so much talking, he probably forgets. And for us, that was an incredible conversation.
Incredible.
Legendary.
Living legend.
He really is a living legend.
Yes.
If you have a 30 for 30 about you or whatever it is, and you're a broadcaster, I mean, you've done it, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's something you do. Whenever we said trailblazing at the beginning of that thing, like the Godfather of sports talk radio, that's what he is. He literally is the first. Him and Mad Dog were the first two to kind of get in a booth together, a studio together, and just go to town. And now it's like the standard, but back then it was not.
I just love that he's him all the time.
All the time.
All the time. He's not doing it for anyone else but himself.
If you have a 30 for 30 about you and you're not dead, broke, or in jail, you're crushing.
Yes.
That's a great
Probably
point.
a good standard. That is probably a good standard right there. Good for him, man. He buried a couple people in there.
Yeah, not afraid.
Died laughing. Died laughing. Big thanks to Mike Francesa. Mike's On is the app, I believe.
Yep, it is.
Mike's On. I enjoy. I was introduced to him through Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Then saw the 30 for 30. Then watched all the clips every day. And boy, I love him. I absolutely love everything he says. And the callers coming onto a stage is a great metaphor for us going into live radio.
It really is.
Because we would like to take callers. It's a big part of why we want to be live is to hear the people's voice. And his thought of, I'm in the middle of a stage, these people just walk out here and just put the brakes on. Like, the crowd probably listening wants me to kick you off the stage too, I'd assume, which I never thought about that. I was always like, this is an audience. This is one of our listeners. I'm very thankful for them doing that.
Right.
Here we go. Not a great call. Okay, no worries. Have a good one. But whenever you have the mindset of, hey, this is a fucking show now. You're not an audience. You're a performer trying to call in here. Let's put on a show. And then you watch the clips of the way he does handle it. It's like, oh, yeah, that is exactly. He kicks their asses off the stage quick, too. He lets them know.
I mean, because he makes 99% of your audience who doesn't call in, they don't want someone to call in and listen to them be terrible.
Listen, this is not what we signed up for.
No.
We didn't sign up for old Craig in Maine telling a terrible thing. We didn't sign up for this, Pat.
I'm going to keep that in mind, too.
Yeah, Tone's phones.
Yeah.
Tone on the phones.
You probably really like
Fucking
that.
quick. Well, it's not my call, but I was going to say I'd have a quick hook if I had the ability.
Oh, you would have a quick get off the stage.
Yeah.
See you later.
Fucking trapdoor, push the button, they fall right down into the gator pit.
I think I'll have that button. I'll have the ability to drop them into the gator pit off the stage.
Oh yeah, you
Nice.
got to be able to run people.
You have to.
Oh, like the Jim Kong button.
Oh, yeah.
You are very nice, though, when you do it.
I was.
I like that. I like that.
That really changed my entire thought.
I was gonna say I wouldn't hate it if you treated it a little bit more like Francesa did.
Because on Sirius, I let people do their thing. You know?
Yeah, towards the end there, you were leaning the other way.
I
though.
was getting fed up with it.
We were rating calls at
It's
one
also
point.
3 hours then. You got 2 hours.
3
now.
hours is 2 hours. He was doing 5.5 hours.
That's absurd.
I don't know how.
incredible.
I mean, I think you just have to be. I mean, you have to have the 5.5 hours straight of talking to one other human for 20 years. They were obviously going to get into a beef at some point. I'm happy I learned about this man now, but boy, I wish I had him growing up. I think he would have shaped the way I am.
Imagine not talking to someone for 6 months off mic, though.
That
That was
know.
insane.
wouldn't
when he said
happen.
that.
It wouldn't happen.
By the way, I've been around another radio show
Yeah.
that same thing basically happened.
Yeah.
And they used it as a positive, not a negative. It was we got to the point where we couldn't hang out with each other anymore because we had to save all of our conversation for whenever we were on the air. And it made sense whenever they were like that. They're like, yeah, during commercial, we don't need to waste anything. We've been around each other for 30 years at
Right.
this point. So whenever we get live, we're live. We all have different, unique. We have no idea what anybody else has done, anything like that. So the thought of just getting up and leaving because you don't want to talk to a person, it's also a business move too, I'd assume. But at some point, you're going to butt heads with somebody that you've talked to for
Absolutely.
5.5 hours, covering everything. Just the Thanksgiving dinner table conversation that you're not supposed to bring up. They did every day for 5.5 hours. And at some point, they butted heads. I mean, that's going to happen. But that was whenever I did the search for what people want to know about.
Yeah.
The split is a big part. People want to know
yeah.
about the split and if they hate each other. And it's like, I mean, if you just use common sense, it's like at some point, not hate, but you're going to get sick of talking to
Correct.
somebody if it's the same person every
I
single
assume there were big camps. There were Mad Dog camps.
Yeah.
there were-
Oh, yeah.
when they
for
probably
sure.
built it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going
Which I
against each
respect,
other?
by the way. That Francesa Con is awesome. I mean, everything about it. That was an incredible conversation. Very thankful for him. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new sponsor. That's right. We have a new company investing money into this operation, so I appreciate them greatly. Whenever they arrived in my email to say, hey, Pat, these people would like to support the brand, I didn't fully comprehend what the hell it was. Then I started looking into it, and I was like, wait a minute. Have you ever heard of dealdash.com, Ty?
Mm-mm.
Really?
No, I haven't.
I thought you printed this piece of paper out.
Well, I did, but I really don't know what it's about.
You didn't get a chance to dive into dealdash.com?
No, not yet.
Here's how it works. Yeah, Zito's been on dealdash.com.
Oh, yeah.
Zito is the purchaser, the mover, the shaker, the man with never-ending supplies. We don't know where it comes from, but the guy never lies, obviously. And he just buys and buys and buys until we get the final prize that arrives in front of our eyes.
And the reason I have so many, because all the deals.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, well said.
You really put the cherry on top of that incredible rhyme scheme I just put together.
Yeah, it was like a acapella.
Kind of went the opposite direction.
Yep, just like an acapella.
Is that like Al Capone?
So somebody's
Big
uncle.
Al Capone guy.
Anyways, dealdash.com is a place where you can win things that you could never expect to win. It's like an auction, but it only goes up by 1 cent at a time. Are you kidding me?
What?
The auction clock restarts from 10 seconds every time someone bids. If no new bids are placed before the clock runs out, the last bidder wins. You can check out the tutorial video here at www.deal-.com/help/how-it-works. Go start bidding. You need some bids on your account to get into the action. You obtain bids by purchasing bid packs. Get it?
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Because this is going to be something that you're going to love. Bid packs come in various sizes, such as 200 bids. Bids are on sale this week between 12 cents to 15 cents per bid.
Oh, damn.
Each time you place a bid, one bid is removed from your bid balance, obviously.
Makes sense.
When you run out of bids, you can either buy more bids or use the buy it now option to purchase the item at the buy it now price and get all your bids back from said auction.
Oh.
Give me them bids.
Deal Dash product selections include a variety of different categories, including electronics, kitchen and home appliances, fashion and beauty products, home decor, and even cars.
Wow.
Sam and I have been using this because we're upgrading the kitchen. Hey, there's a lot of good stuff in
They
here.
sent us those beautiful knives.
Oh my God, they did. Not only was it the knives, it was also the
Gloves.
The gloves and in the case that it came in was absolutely incredible.
Tools.
And if you bid with a bid pack, you could potentially get that for way under market value. Way under. You can also expect to find some special promotions around any major holiday with surprise items and twists. You can often find daily promotions that offer free bids or other benefits. Right now, you use promo code America, pick up some bids after you make an order of some bids.
Oh.
The bids are the big deal over there in Deal Dash. Got any bids, bro?
Oh, yeah.
Need your bids.
Need that.
Gonna need your bids if you're gonna get in dealdash.com because dealdash.com is got going on. You got any bids, bro?
Get them bids.
Get your bids. Get a bid pack and go get something awesome. Promo code America, get you some more bids on top of the bids that you already purchased. It's all about the bids. Bids ain't shit. Oh, bids are. Bids are the shit. Back to the show.
Shit.
Get some bad biddies.
Hey. All these biddies and all. Back to the show. Get a bid, bro. Go get some bids.
Get a bit.
You could win something you never thought you could really win because the bid, only 12 cents to 15 cents, only goes up a penny. 10 seconds of dry time, bang, that's yours.
Do you even bid, bro?
Hey, do you even bid, bro? I bid, bro.
Yeah, you do.
Dealdash.com. Promo code America. Get all the biddies. I wish I had 2 more hands so I can give them biddies 4 thumbs up. Also, very thankful for our neighbors to the north.
Oh, yeah.
Foxy and I went and did Toronto this weekend, and it's the first time I've ever been there.
Same.
First time I've ever walked around Toronto. I had a preseason game up there against the Buffalo Bills in the Rogers Center, which is where Foxy and I watched the Blue Jays play the Yankees. We were on the field, by the way.
Great seats.
Nice.
Very hot, though. If we were 15 rows back, we're in the shade. Since we're on the field, very
Oh,
sunny.
yeah, I saw it was open. I don't know if they open it very often, do they?
It was a beautiful day.
It was so nice out.
But they have half the thing open and half the thing closed. So there's zero movement in there. There is no wind moving at all.
We were basically in the dugout. Like
We
it
were.
was literally right to our left.
Old Thornton, pitcher for the Blue Jays, was taking on Tanaka. He was a vocal guy.
Yeah.
And he was not happy. I thought he was going to have a full moment. I thought he was going to have a bat, break something, walk it off, throw something on there. He gave up one run, just one run. And I've never seen somebody more angry. I loved it. I was like, look at that little passion out of this guy. He gives up one run. We told him to take it easy, though.
He gave the water cooler a little jab.
A couple punches.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was it.
But we were in the thing. I literally, while we walked off, I said, hey, no big deal, bub. We'll get him next inning. Very quiet, though, in Toronto.
Did you have any good exchanges with like the ump?
No, nothing. Nothing. I didn't talk to anybody.
They're terrible. I assume that's why it's quiet.
Well, there's not a lot of people. Yeah, they are bad. The guy next to us had the season tickets in those seats that we were in. Which, by the way, that guy did something special because those tickets were expensive.
Yes.
Shout out SeatGeek. Promo code McAfee $20 off. Those tickets were very expensive though. And this guy had season tickets there, and he was talking. I was like, "So how are we?" I was trying to get to know the team before we got started. We showed up about middle of second inning.
Yep.
I go in. We go in. I go, "So how are we this year?" And the guy just does big like gifable thumb. I'm like, all right, but we're playing the Yankees. How are the Yankees this year? And Foxy was like, "I think the Yankees are really good this year." And I assume that's just strictly from sitting near Ty.
Yes, sir.
That is 100% the only thing we knew going in.
They're the best team in the American League.
Yep. And I saw the Tanaka guy was throwing. Oh, he was throwing some shit down there. As a former professional baseball player,
You would know.
I was basically standing in the batter's box. The on deck circle was 2 feet in front of us. Okay. And in the on deck circle, you can see the pitches, right? That's what you're actually doing in there as a professional baseball player. That's what I was doing in there. It felt like I would not have made contact with any of the pitches. That Tanaka was no. And that Hamilton dude was throwing heat.
Oh, yeah.
And we look up there, it was only like 91 miles an hour. I was like, wait a minute. I think I saw like a 92 mile an hour fastball. And I made contact. I think I could hit this guy. And then you watch it hum by, and it's like, I don't know how I stood in there. It's an incredible sport. And we started talking about how the gambling on every pitch thing, how it would work. Foxy and I got lifted in Toronto numerous times.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's very legal there.
Yeah.
We got our spirits, our souls, and our bodies lifted thanks to back home smoking lethal, as old Drake would say. We had a good time there. But if you're very cloud 90 at the middle of a baseball game and nobody is talking, nobody in the arena,
So
stadium
quiet.
is talking. The entire city, by the way, nobody's really loud. It's a quiet city. Nobody jaywalks. Nobody litters. There's not a lot of trash cans, too, by the way. Had to put a lot of trash in my pocket till I found a trash can to throw it away because it's like monkey see, monkey do. All right? We see these people just like only waiting for the white light up little human at the crosswalk. Literally, no jaywalking. If you see somebody jaywalking, it's like, oh, there's an American right there. There's an American right there. There was no litter anywhere. People were very quiet. If a honk of the horn happened, it was something drastic. It was like very clean, quiet. It was just like, it was honestly walking around like you're in a movie. It made no sense. You're in this city. It's a city. There's a shit ton of people. And it's just like very quiet, very under control, very clean. It's like, yo, I didn't know these cities existed anymore.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was very weird because you think about New York City. It's like, oh, okay, there's a dead guy. Oh, there's a guy beating his dick in the fucking phone booth.
Why is nobody shitting in the street? What's going on?
I slept in zero human feces.
Was
Yet.
there homeless people?
So that was something that I brought up. I was
Right.
like, you know what you don't see? You don't see a lot of homeless people here. I don't know where they all go. Probably LA or something. If you get out of the cold up there, they are the north. But there was little to no homeless people. The people that were busking or whatever on the streets, they didn't look homeless.
No.
They looked like pretty clean and proper. By the way, most humans there looked pretty fucking clean and proper. A lot of fitness.
Very in shape.
There was a lot of running, a lot of bicycling. Everybody seemed to be in good shape. It was like it was a whole different world. It was fucking incredible.
It was very nice. One of my favorite cities I've ever been to.
It was probably my favorite city.
Really? Wow.
Seriously.
Strong
Say
statement.
what?
It was
It
that
is.
nice.
Seriously, mostly because we went to the Honey Pot first night. I spent hundreds of dollars. There was a chance. Only going to be there for 4 nights. It was a cannabis store. And it was such a cool thing. It was like an Apple store. We walk in, you kind of like check in, and then you have a guy with an iPad that kind of
nice.
follows around, and then you make a purchase, and then he sends you to the desk, and then you get your shit, then you get out. It's like club entrance, Apple store. Oh yeah, it's awesome. It was. I've never been a part of anything like that. Oh, you want a sativa? You want an indica? You want a hybrid? You want to sleep? You want to laugh? You want to feel good? Yeah, All of that. And then they offered up these capsules that we could buy that were indica sativa capsules. They don't have edibles, but they had these capsules you could take. We bought all of them.
Was there a limit though? Like you couldn't go past a certain amount?
I'm not certain. I think I probably would have been the max. I mean, there's only two of us, and I'm literally just like scooping up bags out of the thing. One thing was called green crack. I was like, whoa, yeah, we're going to take that. The little Apple nerd guy that was with us holding the iPad, your bud.
Connoisseur.
Oh, Bud.
I don't know if they call him that, but
they should.
They should. Your bud.
Trademark.
Patent.
Thank you.
Your bud, though, he like basically gave you the rundown of what everything that's available so you can go look at it or whatever. In the pre-rolled ones is what we wanted. We didn't want to spend time rolling anything.
Right.
And I was like, what pre-roll ones do you have that make me like happy, have a good time? That's what I like to do. I like to go eat a lot too because I'm celebrating a lot of good shit that's happening in my life. And the guy's like, whoa, take it easy. Tell me too much. I'm like, hey, you need to tell me more though, okay? Get into your fucking iPad. So then he pulls out this sativa pre-roll one and he's like, oh, I got 37 of these left. And I was like, what are they? He's like, green crack.
Ooh.
And I was like, I think we'll do green. We'll take 10 of those. Sir, how many days are you here? Leaving Monday. Probably should drop that down to about 5. So. You got it. Is this strong? Oh, yeah. Very strong. You got it. So then we put it out there. We start doing it. And I start getting bombarded with messages from people that are like, that green crack is no fucking joke, Pat.
It wasn't.
And it was not.
No.
Foxy and I, immediately after leaving the honeypot cannabis culture place, we were lifted. We were just floating around the city.
And you can smoke right on the streets, which is wild.
Right on the streets. We had to ask our bud what the rules were, and it was very weird. I mean, just sitting on the corner, smoking, little kid comes by, just cup it, they say. Just cup it, don't be obnoxious. You wouldn't put cigarettes in a kid's face, right? I was like, no. They're like, that's exactly, you treat it how people would with cigarettes. I'm like, you got it. Kids don't, because it's windy out there, and then we just hang. It was insanity. It was absolute insanity. But everybody was just so quiet and nice and hospitable. And I didn't even want to go out because we were so high. I just went to bed.
Yeah, planted.
We walked around the city. We got to see the city. Like, oh, this is really nice. This is awesome. And then people were like, oh, you want to come meet us at blah, blah, blah? And we're like, yeah. Yeah, we'll meet you over there. Go up to the room. Dead. If that was everywhere in the world, I'd be pumped.
Yeah.
It was the best.
It'd make life a lot easier.
Oh my God. We woke up the next morning just like fucking chipper, ready to go.
Yep.
Let me dump some of these capsules down my mouth. We're just back in the game. But everybody was so quiet. Everybody was so nice. We met King Timmy Horton over there.
Oh.
Well, we met the marketing guy.
Oh, okay.
And I got a card for free shit forever.
Oh, no, what?
No, I think it might be one time. It's either forever or one time. The guy, when he handed it to me, I was so excited. I was like, oh, my man, while he was telling me what it was. So in my head, he did it on camera during a watch along. I think it's probably a bigger one, but if it's one time, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, just go big once.
Yeah, I mean, but he did it like a hero.
I see what you're saying,
So
though.
it's gotta be a
Yeah.
lifetime then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He came in with a big...
He made it a big deal.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. And while I was talking, he was explaining to me what it was, which kind of happens to be a lot. Like, I just go ahead. The excitement gets the best of me. And it's just, I don't hear all the details, but I know a little bit of them are good.
How many did he hand out in the room? Everyone?
Me and Sonia DeVille are the only two that have them.
Oh, then they're,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
they're for, yeah.
Yeah, but she definitely said mine's a lifetime one, and I didn't know that. I was like, oh, I have a lifetime one?
You showed it here.
And I showed it to her, and she was like, oh, so everybody has one? And I was like, I don't even know if I have one, lady, to be honest. I didn't hear what he said, but I think I have a lifetime Timmy.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Might be one time, too. Not that big of a deal.
It's a great excuse to go back to Canada.
Yeah.
I love King Timmy, and I would like to go back to Canada because it's just it's an old school. It just seems like everything is just together. But at that baseball game, nobody was talking. It's like the entire city carried over into the baseball game. There's one guy who was a heckler, season ticket holder, right behind home plate, second level, a little bit like front row of the second level behind our on the field things. And he was heckling a little bit. He was getting the ump a little bit, but you could hear his voice echo like off the fucking outfield wall and back. A couple times he was like, thought that was gone, ump. And there'd be like a couple chuckles, and everybody else would just go back to being very quiet. So I was like, oh, the betting thing. This is how I want baseball to be better. Is you bet on everything. So we're sitting there, and I'm like, strike for sure. And it was fucking ball. And I'm like, okay, so maybe this one's going to be a foul tip. And the guy foul tips it. And I'm like, all right, I feel like I'm up a little bit right now. And then I'm like, ball, fucking strike out, strike out, strike out. I'm wrong for like 5-6 straight pitches. And the kid next to me goes, you're not doing great over there. He's like a 15-year-old kid or whatever. And I was like, I want to explain to you how, like, I think this is how games should be enjoyed is like gambling, but you're too much of a kid. I can't fucking tell a 12-year-old that. Hey, fuck you, kid. I'm running a little research right now. I do think it would make the game awesome. If we had a little touchscreen pad in front of us, and every time Tanaka or Thornton got into their set, we had to have a bet in for what was going to happen, single, double, triple, balk, strikeout, thing, every single thing like that. I mean, people would lose a lot of money.
So much.
But it would be a lot of fun. It would make the game a lot of fun.
Would you open it up to the whole entire stadium or just a section?
Oh, I think the whole stadium.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I think the whole
A
stadium.
lot of money.
Yeah, you would have to. You would have to get ID. Bet the amount of money they're going to make.
Exactly,
Casinos are a lot of money too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the build casino is a lot of money. I think you would have to figure out how to get somebody to make sure they're 18 or whatever, so they can gamble. But boy, the ability just to sit there. Maybe it's an app on your phone.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an app on your phone, but I don't know how it would be quick enough to do the live. I was having a great time because when I got it right, I felt like a genius.
Right.
And then when I was wrong, which was regular, it was like, oh, it's all right. I'll get the next one right. I'll get the next one right. Those people would make so much money.
How much money or how much time do you have during all those like picks?
So it's pretty quick. That's why I'm not sure how it would all work out.
Probably like 14 seconds.
Yeah, and you'd have
I mean, it varies a little
You'd have
bit,
to
but-
reset the line every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, one person would have to set. That's why I think if it was in the stadium, you could have one person controlling it, like the Buffalo Wild Wings question. You know, where they have like the points. Like the points are going down. You make your selection in now. It's 1,000, 450, 250, and they're giving you tips. I think that same type of thing would have to go in, but the time would have to go quickly. You know what I mean? So you would be able to
It would
answer.
definitely be awesome.
It would have to be an MTO thing, made to order.
Yep.
Because the bets have to change every
Yeah,
single
yeah.
time. Yeah, but it would be incredible.
Incredible.
By the way, we weren't even really doing it, and it made 2 innings very enjoyable.
Well, we've talked about this before, and I just didn't realize it until the game how much money you really would lose.
You would lose all your money.
It's so hard not to be like, oh, we're going to get a double here. A double does not happen often at all.
Especially in that game.
Yeah, you guys went to a 1-0
Pitcher's
ball
duel,
game.
yeah.
And we're not even baseball guys, so we'd be hammering doubles,
Hammering.
single, like, here we go.
We got a couple free hot dogs. All right, that's at least what, $10? Let me put that on a fucking single here.
Well, here's the thing. Do you make the minimum bet low enough that everyone can join?
Yeah, like
do you
a
have
buck.
do you even go lower than that? Do you go like the nickel slots or penny slots? Do you go all the way down low?
Oh, like 50 cents.
Yeah.
Like 25 cent
Yeah.
bets. And then you could stack 2 on if you want.
Sure, you can bet $5, but you got to at least bet a quarter a pitch.
I think it'd be a good idea. And I think they would literally be just like a ding, ding, ding. I think it would just make so much money. I think that would be brilliant. It's like, can they make it happen? I guess they can't because sports gambling's not legal. In a lot of places. It's becoming rapidly legal in a lot of places, including states that are known for being very slow with things. Hello, Indianapolis. Couldn't have cold beer on Sunday, but we are about to have gambling very quickly, which, by the way, thank you, Indiana, for doing that. We love that. We can't wait to do it and win all the money, obviously.
It's going to be so awesome.
Not going to lose.
So awesome.
No, we're going to win. Unlike that baseball game, I didn't know the pitchers.
So happy I won't get a check from Kazakhstan anymore.
I think it's a good move, though. I think baseball could become an awesome thing. And I guess football, you could do the same thing.
Yeah. Every sport, really.
They have that Your Call football already happening where people are picking plays or whatever. So there has to be a way you can make it happen. That'd be incredible. Like, is this a runner or pass? And that's like red or black. And then you get deeper on it. Okay, is it a touchdown? Is it going to be a first down, interception, turnover, fumble? Every single play. Then you're in the game. Now you're really working. You're working almost as hard as players. You're definitely working harder than the kickers and punters, but you can bet on them. You can bet on them during the thing. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
If there was just a ball strike game, and so when you signed up for it, you're in no matter what. So you have a minimum bet, right? Every time the default would be a quarter per pitch and automatically set to strike unless you change the bet amount and change it from strike to ball. You know what I mean? So then you're in no matter what.
So if it's a hit, it's just it counts as dirty dice. The dice just it doesn't count.
Right.
A hit doesn't count.
Because that could be a separate game, just ball strikes.
Yeah, and
Balls
that'd be
strikes.
easy to set
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
And I think people would be able to
And
make
if you
it
wanted to
happen.
go big, you're like, oh, I'll go $5 on this pitch. But you got to change it. The default would be
That's how you
quarter.
start. That's how you roll it out. Is first ball strike, and also bet on the umpire throwing the ball in the dirt or not in between.
Of course.
That has to be there. I mean, what are we doing if that's not there? Anyways, I love Toronto.
Beautiful. scene.
NXT TakeOver was insane.
Always is.
For those that don't watch wrestling, sports entertainment, NXT is this brand of sports entertainment wrestling that is just fucking out of control. It is absolutely out of control. It's Cirque du Soleil meets this comedy drama thing just mixed into one thing that it is entertaining, I think, to every human. I think every human can find something entertaining in there. Even if it's the crowd. There was a guy that looked like Jesus sitting front row. Me and Mark Henry were talking about him for a good 5 to 10 minutes of the show. Like, is Jesus going to be impressed? Not yet. You know what I mean? I enjoyed the NXT TakeOver. Then SummerSlam, got to do the watch-along. Adam Cole joined me in there for a little bit. He's the NXT champion. He went through hell on Saturday night, could barely walk. And he was in a bad mood. It's a bad mood, talked a lot of shit to me. Got Jethro, got a little ice cream in there. Matt Hardy was in there. Had the entire Sportsnet cast of Aftermath in there for about 2 hours. Otis was in there. It was great. It was a good time.
Did the worm, the caterpillar.
Jesus.
I said it.
Hey, I have not done the caterpillar worm since like 7th or 8th grade. Used to do it though. Back whenever it was the thing.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to, if you consider yourself a pretty good dancing person, you're not going to not have a good worm. If that's what people are doing, you got to be able to do it. I used to have a good worm. I was like 14, 15 years ago. I used to have a pretty good one. So whenever I saw it happen and I knew what was going to happen, it was immediately, I knew there was one coming. Had to empty the pockets. Had a lot of things in my pockets, by the way. A lot of stuff in my pockets. Had to get rid of those. Because you can walk around with everything everywhere in Canada. You can walk around with everything everywhere. So I had to make sure that I was hidden behind a book that said there's no such thing. So I go down there, and as I'm getting set up to do the worm/caterpillar, I literally think to myself, like, you haven't done this for a long fucking time. You tried to kick a ball 3 weeks ago. Your knee fucking blew out. Like, what do you think you're doing right now? Came right back to me like riding a bike. Came back to me like riding a bike. Thank you. Appreciate that. As I was doing it, I knew the most impressive part was how you get up from that. That is the part, even back in the day. Could you get up from your worm? People used to do it backwards. It's a simple thing. The forward one is a little bit more athletic. And then the pop up to the feet was really where I thought I was going to blow a hammy. Turns out, made a play. Made a play. Nice. Got a bruised knee, though.
When the lights go on.
Lights go on.
Yeah.
I mean, Otis is a fucking big dude.
Massive.
He is a round individual.
Bowling ball.
He was sitting there with his arms over his head, and he literally looked like a complete circle. He's such a beefy guy. Everybody at the WWE, we don't get to go much. We just kind of get dropped in like once a month. So there's so many things that happen for them every month. Rumors, stories, this happens, this person gets this person does this. I got demoted on the watch along. So we just get to drop in there, bebop around. Hey, how's everybody doing? Oh, you guys been on the road for 45 straight days? Oh, me and Foxy slept at home last night. Oh, you guys going to be over at the arena what time? At noon? Oh, me and Foxy go to the Yankees, Jays game. We're going to do this. They have to hate us, but it's nice. I think we're a nice little... We're like
we're a
change of pace.
Yeah, we just come in. I think we're a pick me up. A lot of people come and talk to us just like, I think looking for an exit, just like a little mental vacation, which I appreciate. Like, how have you been? What you do? You announced a what? That's insane. Good for you. Have you heard about blah, blah, blah? Oh, that's how it feels like we just get dropped into a high school. And then we get to leave the high school and then we go back. I like everybody over there.
It's a perfect situation for us.
Everybody's so nice to us. Got a chance to talk to Mr. H.
Oh, how'd that go?
You talk about trips?
Yeah.
Time to play the game.
Nailed it.
Talk about Paul. Mr. Helmsley.
Oh, yeah.
Terrorizing. That was his first name. The Cerebral Assassin.
Really?
Hunter.
Mr. Levesque. Hunter. That guy. Great conversation. Good conversation with him. He's such a smart dude. People forget that this man who used to tell people to suck it and made like tens of millions of dollars, probably maybe hundreds of millions of dollars selling merch and wrestling around the world, doing all these things, is now an elite businessman. Like an elite, we're talking suit, very nice suits.
Great suits.
Great suits. We're talking great shoes. A man who's had to follow Vince McMahon around and do business. The ability to build something from zero to what it is now, which is what he did with NXT. It's interesting when you talk to him because you're just learning so much. Every word's coming in his mouth. I'm just trying to learn from what he's saying. Oh, yeah. Wait, let's go back. You said there's a lot of that. He's a good guy, man. Everybody's so nice to us. It's out of control.
It was so funny, too. So Pat's rehearsals for his show, he's wearing a black button-up, normal clothing, right? And so no one's thinking anything. Well, the actual show comes out, what 3 minutes before he goes backstage, changes into the Canadian tuxedo that you guys all saw.
I wasn't going to get kicked off the show. And if I did, what I learned from WrestleMania is it all happened so quickly. They had to make a decision very quickly. They couldn't kick me off the show. So I'd learned a little bit from that situation. I'm going to go ahead and put this Canadian tuxedo on very last minute. Very last minute. And boy, go ahead.
And then Pat crushes the show, right? But right after is when Mr. Triple H walked up to you. And
It
I'm
says,
like,
can I talk to you for a minute? I'm
was
like,
like,
fuck.
I legit was like, oh no.
Oh my! Because he literally walks like there's like a group of us talking, and he would just like poke his head in or whatever. He'd be like, "Hey, you got a couple minutes?" And I'm like, "I am still wearing this entire Canadian tuxedo. I literally just got off the air." Yeah, man, let's do it. And I just thought that fucking hell was coming down on me. Like you didn't listen when Michael Cole told you not to wear shorts, and then we put you on the air. We thought we extended. I thought this whole thing was coming, so I was already ready to be on the defensive. I was already ready. I walked into it ready to go to war with the cerebral assassin, to defend my choice. Complete opposite. He was like, "Oh, Canadian tuxedo, I like it." No pedigree? He's like, "Thanks, man. No pedigree." No. I got nothing. And then like an incredibly intelligent conversation happened, and I learned so much so quickly. And it was a really cool thing. As soon as I get out of the TV locker room, though, I run back to the TV locker. There's locker rooms all over the place, right? You got male talent, you got female talent, you got trainers here, you got catering here, you got Maestro's haircuts here, you got this here, you got Vince's office here, Brock Lesnar's office here, Goldberg's office is here. Like everything just kind of, everybody has their own thing. And then TV locker rooms like kind of back in the corner there. So I had to, and it was all very tight in the back. So from TV locker room to the set, which was probably like a 4 or 5 minute walk, I was walking down single lane hallways basically. And everybody that I encountered during that walk was just looking at me like, "Are you fucking?" Literally everybody was like, Are you kidding me right now? I was like, "Looks pretty good, huh?" And they're like, "Yeah, it looks something." And then one guy goes, "The gut sack on you, brother. It never stops." That's what the guy said to me. I was like, "It can't." Also, I'm almost late, so I got to go. And I just walked right to the set, sat down, and I put my little ear things in. The lights aren't on yet because people are filling into the arena. And I hear Sam Roberts go, "Oh my God." And then the people that are in the truck are like, What, Sam? And Sam's like, "Well, you can't see him because the lights aren't on, but Pat looks fucking ridiculous." So as soon as that happens, you hear them in the truck like, turn on the lights. And as soon as the lights come on, I'm just sitting there at the desk, right? It was completely pitch black. So not only is everybody in the arena seeing me, also everybody in the truck or has access to the camera seeing me for the first time. You hear dying laughter in the earpiece, and then you hear the crowd go, "Nice denim, McAfee." I was like, all right, I'm in a good spot here. It was awesome.
And Pat hadn't even tried on this outfit until right before the show.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was going to look like.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And Sam Roberts was like, "Well, what if they didn't let you wear that? What did you have a backup?"
No. Honestly, I did.
That's why you're you, Sam.
Yep.
And I'm me.
And I'll tell you what, I put it on. There wasn't a mirror in the room when I put it on. Only Foxy got to see it.
Yeah.
So then I go into the bathroom. First time, I was like kind of scared to turn the corner and see myself. And I looked at it, I was like, "Huh, not bad."
Pretty good.
Not bad. Got to put a tie on though to class this up just a little bit. But I'll have Sam Roberts do that out on set. That was a good time, man. I fucking love those weekends. I have a blast doing them.
It was awesome.
I absolutely loved it.
Looked like a good time.
I did. We interrupt this conversation for a reading by Zito.
Thank you, Pat.
Before you get started, I think the last show is the closest you were to successfully reading something from beginning to end.
Thank you.
Well, I think it was more like a little bit of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
No, there's no such thing as pressure if you know what you're doing.
Under pressure.
Ours goes ding, 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 da-la-ling, ding. That goes ding, 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 da-la-ling, ding.
Oh, the Vince Ice Baby.
Vince?
What's your real name? Rob Van Winkle. Why'd you change your name? Nothing rhymes with Winkle. Dance.
Sure, DNA testing can tell you.
What's that, Jim Carrey? Mm-hmm. Jim Carrey doing a Vanilla Ice thing?
Yeah, in living color.
Bro, there's one where he's a yoga teacher or something, and he leads it off with, "Let's start with a stretch."
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And he smacks his back off the ground.
Yeah. He plays that very manly looking Russian lady.
Yeah.
What's What's that in your pocket? Is that your chewing tobacco? Or are you just happy to be in my class?
He's a Canadian. By the way, Jim Carrey, shout out to Canadians.
Did you see him down there?
Nope. Didn't see Justin Bieber, Celine Dion. Did see Edge and Christian, though.
Really?
Yeah. No Justin Bieber or Drake spotting.
Ryan Reynolds?
No Vancity.
Sure, DNA testing could tell you about where your ancestors are from.
Like Jim Carrey's.
Yeah.
Canada.
From Canada.
Yeah.
But did you know it could also give you a lot of genetic information about your health and traits?
Really?
Traits. I forgot to do a question. What's a question mark?
It just sounded like it was an echo. It sounded like you put a reverb on.
Understand more about yourself today and inform how you live your life going forward.
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 Forward. Happy birthday, Jay. With 23andMe Health Ancestry Service, you can learn how your genes can affect your health. It's a lot to take in, but once you know more, you can take actions now to stay healthy.
Happy birthday, Jay, man.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Jason McAfee's birthday yesterday.
It's a big day.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay.
man.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Hey, Jay, happy birthday, man.
Hey, Jay, guess what I got you as a birthday gift?
What was it? Oh. What do you love about 23andMe?
Oh, no. You're not supposed to read that. I got Jay a 23andMe kit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
I'd like to learn a little bit about us, what makes us tick. Because I already did mine. I'm 0.9% Italian. What if Jay got none of the Italian?
Oh.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
you stole the Italian from him?
That's what I'm saying. It's a small amount.
Are you curious about how your genes may play a role in your health?
Yeah.
I'm going to motivate you guys.
Please do.
It helps you discover health. There's a whole world of genes just waiting to meet you in 125 plus personalized genetic reports on your health, traits, and more.
Wow.
There was a comma on that.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Yeah.
Comma is your Achilles heel.
It is.
You're going to get through it, though.
I know how Brett Pitt feels. The right personal health plan starts with the right data. Your health reports can give you insights about your DNA so you can build a health plan that is unique to you.
Brad Pitt was Achilles.
Yeah. Boy, he went for it on that one.
That last sentence was very Brad Pitt-like there.
I left the comma behind. I thought I could skip it. It
commas
makes
left
no
behind,
sense
bro.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, no commas left behind.
Understand your genetic. Ooh.
Big word coming.
Predisposition.
Close.
Oh, I got it.
No,
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Don't tell him.
Predisposition.
Closer.
I mean, it sure sounds like it could possibly be close to the word you're supposed to say.
Predisposition.
Well, not wrong way.
Predisposition.
Is it disposition?
Yeah.
Predisposition.
Disposition?
There is a dis in there.
Is it an I there? Or
There is
E?
there is an I. So predisposition.
Now we're talking. Hey, sound it out.
easy.
Hey. Thank you guys. Nick. Thank you. Type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 adults in the United States has prediabetes, but 90% of those with prediabetes don't know they have it.
I think they do.
Type 2 diabetes can be impacted by 100 genes other than... Oh, shit, I forgot period.
Hey, by the way, we're talking about type 2 diabetes, not type 1.
Yeah.
Type 1 diabetes
You're
is
born
very
with it.
serious.
Yes.
Type 2 diabetes you earn, right?
Correct.
I don't know the medicine that well.
You worked hard for those.
But you could also potentially be a genetic thing, too. You don't even know.
Yeah. The type 2 diabetes report was made possible by 2.5 million 23andMe customers who consented to participate in research.
Not bad there.
Thank you.
I could tell you're really happy with yourself with that one.
Was there an exclamation point after?
Oh, there's
consented?
a phonetic word up here coming up. Phonetically spelled out.
Oh, is that a tease?
Yeah. Harmful blood clots, heredity, thrombophilia reports.
Is it
Hereditary.
You mean hereditary? Yeah.
What did I say?
Heredity.
That can't. I said hereditary.
No, you
The-
You were so
Run it
worried
back.
about
Please run it back.
you were so worried about the
Run it
fucking
back.
phonetic spelling of thrum. I didn't even know what the fuck you said.
Like the Billy Madison.
I will say I did not say hereditary, and I apologize.
What about that other word?
Oh, that's the hard one. Thrombophilia. The F2, F5 gene, help you stop bleeding. In my defense, it says HEP.
Yeah, it does.
It does. Helps you stop bleeding if you get hurt. Certain version of the F2FP gene can also increase the risk for harmful blood clots. Oh, it's coming back. Inherited high cholesterol.
This kid graduated from college.
What was that
Well,
first
no,
word?
there's a big word coming. There's a big
Graduated
word.
from college.
Yeah, what was that first word to start the sentence?
Inherited high cholesterol.
Now we're talking.
Familia hypercholesterolemia report. They're throwing all the hard ones in here.
This thing's loaded.
Oh, God. The LDLR gene helps transport bad cholesterol out of your bloodstream. People can have a version of the gene that can lead to a very high level of cholesterol, which can increase the risk for early heart disease.
Yeah, it's not good. Early heart disease is not good.
Yeah, it's bad.
So 23andMe will help you know if that's going to happen.
Yeah. Hereditary breast. Breast.
Whoa, buddy, whoa.
It is breast. It is breast. Hereditary breast and ovarian cancer, BRCA1, BRCA2, selective variants reports the BRCA gene repair damaged DNA that could otherwise lead to cancer. I don't know what all that meant.
I don't think we did either. I don't think we did either. Yeah. But it sounds like it's a very important thing that could potentially predict breast cancer.
I'm going to skip the last one and I'm just going to call to some action here.
Smart. Smart. I think you've done enough damage.
23andMe reports do not diagnose disease or describe overall likelihood of developing any disease. 23andMe tests selected genetic variants only. Visit 23andMe.com/Pat for important test information.
That's
23andMe.com/Pat.
That's
23andMe.
the numbers 2, 3. Does it say that?
No.
It doesn't say in there. It's
It just ended after information.
Oh, really? So
But I will go 2, 3, the word and, the word me, the dot, the com, the slash, the Pat.
I can't believe they didn't put in there that once again, that's the numbers 2, 3,
Yeah.
ANDME.com/PAT.
And that's 23andme.com/Pat.
Really good job. I think the thing with you is just a consistency thing. You know?
Yeah.
Last week you had a good run at it. This time, kind of got the best of you.
I will say, when they start throwing like diseases at me, I don't
That was like a medical journal for you, huh?
Yeah.
This was like a 6th grade level. Last week was more like a 3rd grade level.
You
What was
think
that
this
supposed to mean?
6th grade? Oh, you're talking about the reading itself.
The
Oh, you're ranking
The difficulty.
Oh, like I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
6.
Not that he was at 6.
No, no, no.
No,
No, certainly not.
The opposite.
correct. The reading was a 6th grade level reading. Zito's
It was like
is
a,
just not there yet.
Oh, I'll take that, actually. I'm smarter than a 5th grader.
no,
No,
it
no,
beat
no.
you. It beat you pretty bad.
I'm saying last week you did well with a 3rd grade reading.
This week's was a little bit more difficult. It was like this was like an all pro, like a
jumped too
6th
hard.
grader.
When am I going to get the all Madden?
Well, I think we're gonna have to get that's the wedding. That's what we're really pulling for.
Can't
And by the way, it might be in your genetics. That's something that 20. What do they do? 125 plus tests.
Yeah, it might be right in there.
That sounds right.
Big thanks to the numbers 2, 3, ANDME.com/PAT. They help me learn so much about myself. I'm in the Italian club now. I had to go around and do a lot of apologies. I learned a lot about my body composition, which is an incredible tool to have going forward to be a little bit of a healthier life, hopefully live longer. Take care of your family. It's a good surprise to show up in your email to know exactly where you come from and what you do. 23andme.com/PAT. Zito, we got to get better.
Yeah. 23andme.com/Pat.
Yeah, but aside from that,
Oh.
the reading today is tough.
I felt like I did good, but the big word stopped me. It was like a blitz package.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The big words like hereditary.
yeah.
Well,
And
yeah. So
anemia.
I was trying to see the blitz, but
Yeah,
just
you're
let
doing
him in.
too much. You just got to do. You just got to do your job.
I got to slow down.
Well, yeah, the 4 downs of golf really changed your game.
You were much better when you were slower and methodical.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week you were much slower and methodical. This week you're slower and methodical still, but your brain is ahead. So you just need to, like in a golf swing, you need to time your hips, your hands, and your body. Like you just need your brain, your mouth, and your eyes all to just kind of come
Same
together.
page.
Good tempo.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too, I feel like I should do is the old-fashioned just flush. Forget what I just read.
Oh, like
The new
short
play.
memory.
Yeah,
It's not what happened before. It's about what's happening right now.
exactly.
I was told by somebody that
Mr. Raleigh?
no, it was Willie McGinnis. Nope, Nigel McGuinness,
Oh, that's what you call him.
the British guy who runs NXT. He was a legend over in Europe as a professional wrestler. Now he does commentating. I said, "How are you doing, man? How's life?" He said, "Oh, trying not to be worried about my yesterdays, not anxious about the future, just enjoying the moment." And I was like, "Holy shit!"
Wow.
I was like, "You're 100% right. That's what you need to do when you read."
Thank you.
No, it wasn't.
I kind of did the flushing method already. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
forgot about all
But
this.
let's get the toilet out and let's just think about enjoying the word that we're currently on.
Okay.
See, I think you flush too much because you certainly can't remember how to say certain words that you've definitely learned before in your life.
Well, we don't know if that's true.
I will say I stay true to my words. I don't go outside the old blinds.
That's right. That's
a good point.
You're a professional coloring book.
Yeah.
You just stay within your lines.
Exactly.
That a boy. And back to the show. How was your weekend? You went to Cleveland, came back with no eye.
Yeah, it's a shithole.
Ever since you changed your name to Tone Diggs, things have been going down.
Yeah, you got a pink eye.
That's not true. It's not even close to pink eye.
It's a blood vessel was popped in his eyeball.
Something is bleeding into my eye. Hopefully my brain, but
It's just oozing.
no.
your
Cleveland
face.
was bad. Went there
Guy's got
for
a brain bleed.
Went there for a nice Dago wedding.
Yeah, I seen a lot of pictures of the Italians out
They
there.
got a little place. It's like 4th Street or something like that. Nice little row of bars.
Oh yeah, we had a good time at 4th Street in Cleveland. Like that place a lot. Did you go to the casino?
No. It was a lot of focus on the family.
You Italians.
Yeah. If you nor a family on an Italian wedding, you're not getting in the book.
A lot of cheek grabbing, a lot of cheek.
No.
That's
We're a
Italian.
different style of Italians.
Frank Sinatra playing?
I saw a coach in the front of a photo of a group photo.
Oh yeah,
Power Neil.
he took the knee to display, not put on display how short he is.
Smart, by the way. That's what Zito does too.
I know.
Zito working on them angles.
Oh, yeah. Bend the arm.
Attaboy, Zito.
Cleveland's nice though when it's sunny and the lake's going on.
Hey, I really like Cleveland.
Nice sun off the lake.
I like Cleveland. Growing up where we grew up, you're taught that Cleveland is terrible. Everything about Cleveland is terrible. Then we went and played the Browns there, and we're driving around, walking around. I was like, "This city is awesome."
The water,
and then the wind was terrible.
the water did taste very weird.
From the lake.
No, I didn't drink straight from the lake, from the tap.
That's why your eye's bleeding right now.
I was bleeding before I got there. Z. Grow up.
Be a fucking adult.
You know how sometimes like you wake up in the middle of the night and then there's the water on the nightstand and it's $8 and you're like, well, I'll probably just go drink from the
See,
from the sink.
10 times out of 10,
Cracking it.
I'm blowing right through that bottle. Those hotel water all taste bad though. I think like all hotel tastes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because if you put ice in any water from the hotel, even that dilutes the taste of anything. I think hotel water is a different animal. I think they all agree to
the
same.
ice never melts either. It's something weird.
It is
about
fucking weird.
It just stays in there forever. It's like, I think something's wrong with this water.
Chernobyl. How about that place is caving in, huh?
What do you mean?
Chernobyl thing's caving in, I guess. The
Really?
thing that's covering it, whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
dome
not good.
they put up.
Yeah, I guess it's caving in.
Biodome?
That's not good.
It is like a biodome.
It was supposed to last a lot longer than that. They put a lot of money into that
Is
thing.
this spoilers? I haven't seen it yet.
Well, it's real
Well,
life.
it's a true
not
story.
a movie.
Oh. Never mind.
But I guess it would kind of spoil the future documentary if you already knew what happened.
Right?
Thank you.
Like the Epstein thing, by the way.
Yeah.
What happened there?
House of Cards, bro. House of Cards. I forget who. I think we all agreed that guy wasn't going to make it to court, right?
No.
Not a chance.
I think every human in here was like, "There's no way this guy makes it to court."
Ever.
Hell, like, they literally came out and said there was a camera malfunction. He's supposed to have a roommate. He didn't have a roommate. He was supposed to be watched every half hour. He hadn't been watched for hours. It was just like everything's so suspicious, and then it would just disappear in about a week. Nobody will talk about it again.
Yeah, no one's gonna care.
No one's gonna care.
I mean, that's a legit hit. Everything, I mean, there's no explanation other than that.
What do you think happened? Like a movie? Like people just walk into the prison, they go right to the warden. Like, you know why we're here.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking shut down the basement, bro.
Some new guard walks in that nobody's ever seen
Yep.
before. He just gives one guard a nod. That guard walks away.
Yeah, it's an
there.
undercover guard.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
a
yeah.
CIA guard.
Yeah.
And the warden tells the other guard, like, hey, we're bringing in a new guy. He's a specialist. He's going to come in, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. Never gives his real name. Probably wearing one of those old man masks.
Oh, yeah.
Walks in there like fucking Tom Cruise. Walks right into that jail cell. Offers him to kill himself. Hey, you can do this or I can do this. If you do it, we need you to write something. If I do it, we need you to write something. That's exactly what happened. Everybody's calling it. There's a lot of people spinning that. Like, oh, don't listen to the conspiracy theory. It's like, come the fuck
Yeah,
on.
I mean, dude.
Everybody on Earth knew it was going to happen. Everybody on Earth knew it was going to happen.
I like when that happens.
What's that? When things start piecing together?
No, just like this type of thing that happens in real life. It makes movies more realistic.
Well, yeah, but going back to Zito's point, like, spoiler when we watch that documentary later, like, we know what happens.
Oh yeah.
Guard put on a fake mask.
Movie comes out in 2 years. I already know the ending.
We know. I told you guys to try to watch that Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you guys did it. Biggest movie of all time.
Yeah, a lot of people watched it.
I should ask Francesa if he watched it, how he feels about it.
There's no way
I don't-
he's...
Zito backed out, by the way. There's an incredible clip on the internet of Francesa being told by a caller that Stan Lee dies. Francesa has no clue who Stan Lee is. No clue. Do we have the clip?
Eddie in Hoboken. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
What's
Hey,
happening?
Mike, Stan Lee died today. Did you ever meet the guy? What do you think of him?
Stan Lee.
Yeah, Stan Lee.
I
Never
don't know
heard
who
of
he
Stan
is.
Lee?
Don't know who he is, no.
Jesus.
Who is he? Who is Stan Lee? He was one of the creators of Marvel Comics. Oh, who cares? Comic book guy. Is that who he is, Stan Lee? The guy who created Spider-Man. That was his big created Spider-Man? Okay. Sorry. I never was a comic book reader as a kid. I apologize. Never.
Zito was going to ask about that because Zito is a diehard Stan Lee fan.
Yeah. Well,
and then when push came to shove, Zito got out of the trenches and dumped it down through a little bubble screen.
Well, in my... I don't know.
disappointed.
He was just like come back with a yes or no. Like,
No,
it's like,
you don't know that. You don't know that?
It's not a yes.
That
or no.
man, you think that man who talked 5.5 hours
Yeah,
a day
I
for
don't know what you're
30
talking
plus
about.
years was only going to give a one-word answer?
Yeah.
I loved him saying how he hated that one guy, Al Jackson, because he never let him speak.
Yep.
Because there was a time where he was rolling today. And I was like, I don't know when to bop into. But everything he's saying is good. Just, hey, fuck it. Let it ride, bub. He's a legend, man.
Legend.
But you did back off of that. You literally were talking it up all out there. I want to let everybody know that heel Zeet, Twitch Zeet. Twitch is over, by the way.
yeah, basically.
All right, Twitch is over.
Uh-oh.
Fox, did you hear about this? While we were in Canada, Twitch is done.
It's dead.
Dead?
Yeah,
died?
they're fucking over Ninja really bad. They were putting porn on his page essentially, and all his fans are basically under 14 years old.
So they tried to burn it down with Ninja.
Yeah, so basically what they were doing was they were putting other people's streams on his channel, 14 million subscribers, and
Pretty good.
Yeah, and then they literally was just someone's account had porn on it, and they were pushing it, and now Ninja's suing him, I think, and they're gonna take a lot of money from Twitch.
So it's about to be Ninja.
Yeah,
You're about to play video games on Ninja.
most likely, yeah.
You streaming on Ninja, bro?
You streaming on Ninja, bro?
Do you Ninja, bro?
What are you gonna do?
Hey, it's not a bad name for it.
That's not at all.
Yeah.
I'll probably join Baron Corbin over there on Mixer.
Oh, is that a little plug for Baron Corbin? He didn't stop by the watch along.
Oh, you know what would happen if he stopped by?
No. He was all suited and booted. We saw him backstage. I asked him if he was going to stop by. He said, "I'll see if I got time." Guess he didn't have time.
He was probably finding like a chair or something.
He looked good.
Yeah, he did.
He's all tailored up right now.
Well dressed.
He's all tailored up. He's got a Rolex on. He's got a couple of chains on.
Classy.
Hey, he's doing it.
I saw his Instagram showing off his Porsche he had. or
That's
whatever
what I'm
that was.
saying. He's starting to flex
showing
hard.
off.
He works his fucking dick off. They put out a list of like the number of nights that somebody's worked in a year. He was at the top of it. He
really?
He worked 94 of like maybe 100 nights.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the number one guy. Baron Corbin was the
crazy.
number one guy with Seth Rollins. Him and Seth Rollins right at the top.
Burn it down.
And Baron just gets his ass kicked every night because everybody hates him. Those guys are awesome. So are you that listen to this. We're about to get our studio completely flipped and dipped. We're actually doing Thursday's podcast from Colts training camp. Big thanks to them for basically opening the doors and giving us the keys to the whole operation. If you're watching on YouTube, the ceiling is already being taken out. September 9th, we're launching a live radio show out of here with DAZN and Westwood One. And we might have to take a week or two off because there might be some sledgehammers, jackhammers, things of that sort. But whenever we come back,
It's gonna be awesome.
It'll be a nice little facelift on these people.
Gonna look good in here.
You get these people, by the way, you get these people from these very professional organizations come in here and they check out what we got going on. And then they're like, yeah, you guys are really cute. What you guys got going on there with 40 to 50 wires on the ground. Nobody knows where any of them go. I go, oh, this is Zito production. This is Zito. How's this camera go? Oh, it doesn't work all the time. But somebody blew out the HDMI thing or whatever. Like, oh, did you fix it? No.
He's got to wiggle the cord.
Yeah. We take it out and they're redoing everything. It's a cool time. This fall is going to be awesome. In the vlog, by the way, that we're piecing together for this upcoming fall is going to be beautiful.
Incredible.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, people are going to love it.
I think so.
Groundbreaking.
And the box truck studio.
Starting to look great.
That's going to blow your mind.
It is. I don't know how anybody else has. Why hasn't everybody done this?
Wheels are in motion.
Literally. Get it?
point.
Because it was a truck. Box truck with wheels.
What?
A truck.
What?
It moves.
What?
Actually perplexed.
All right, that's the show. At Todd McComas, at Tone Diggs with a Z. Did you see Bone Diggs? Somebody started?
Hate it.
I love that move.
Hate it. I reported it.
I never knocked on nobody.
I'll fucking narc on everybody.
At Nick Morado, at Viva Lazito, at Evan Foxy, at Ty Schmidt, at Pat McAfee on DAZN will be the show's page. That is being handled by DAZN. So those are the words of the DAZN people. I just want to make sure that's known. Like, they're tweeting great things, they're Instagramming great things, they're doing very well. But I don't want anybody to think that those wise words are coming from anybody in here. We do not deserve the credit. It's DAZN running that. That's where we'll be putting up a lot of clips from the show and keeping things moving. We can't wait for this fall. So thankful for you. Ty Schmidt, hit the music.